What it do? What it do? You tuned in to another episode of Everything Boxing. There you go, talking that boxing again. Salute to everybody in the building. Salute. Mark Wonderlick, what's happening with it? Salute. What's your point? What's good with it? Big Texas ATX, Cleveland Smith, what's happening with it? Omega Red, what's good with it? Salute. My brother's keeper, what's happening with it? D Walker, what's good? Omega Red, both of us can't talk at the same time. You feel me? I don't go on nobody else's shit and do that. Both of us can't talk at the same time. But that's still my brother. We just can't talk at the same time. You know? When he talk, I'll be quiet. When I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? Let me get my shit off. That's all. Ain't nothing more, ain't nothing less. Just what it is. Boxing matchups with Dwayne Freeman. What's happening with it? You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna go on boxing matchups with Dwayne Freeman. And when it's, you know what I'm saying, when it's his turn to talk, I'm talking all over him and I ain't gonna shut the fuck up. I can't do that over on his shit. You know what I'm saying? If he's trying to get something off, I gotta let the man talk. Plain and simple, bro. Nah, I wasn't done talking yet. I didn't cut him off. He cut me off because I was still explaining my point, and he cut me off while I was explaining my point. You can go back to the video and watch it. I wasn't done talking yet. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the footage there. You know what I'm saying? And I sat through the whole show on my shit, and I let them cook. I didn't cut nobody off. I didn't say nothing. So when it's my turn to talk, I'm gonna talk on my shit. It's simple as that. And I'm not finna argue with nobody about it. Like I said, when I'm on his shit, when I'm on his shit, when he wanna talk, he's shutting everybody up and he gonna cook. Period. And he gonna let you know that too. Stan 92, salute. No, what you seen, Omega, is you seen that he started talking and cut in when I was making my point, and then I shut up. You know what I'm saying? And I let him say what he's gonna say, but he kept going on. Then I cut back in. So I never finished making my point. He jumped in when I was making my point. But you know, it's all good. Like I said, it's all boxing. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no hard feelings, bro. It's boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's boxing talk. We do that shit. Me and Money we didn't have plenty of debates going back and forth. You can't talk at the same time, and I'm like, okay, let me finish saying what I'm saying, and you steady talking. We ain't gonna get nowhere like that. You feel me? Because the people that's watching the show, they can't hear, and I'm not finna just shut up on my own shit, bro. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Omega Red, all I know is at the end of the day, you can't outfish me. That's what I do know, Omega Red. Omega Red, your big head ass can't outfish me. How about that? OG Sean the Don, salute. Dead Game Boxing, salute. Love him down. Gaither, what's happening with it? Salute. Yeah, we're going to have another hell of a show. You know what I'm saying? Another hell of a show. And, you know, let's talk about this boxing. Let's get into it. Ball, salute. What's happening with it? let's get into this great boxing talk. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into this great boxing talk. The assassin DLJ, what's happening with it? So, Shady Girl 85, what's happening with it? Jose Ayala, what's happening with it? He said, salute, want Oscar to win, but he said, against Shakur, I doubt it. Shakur too skilled. Oscar sits on his punches. He said, we'll make too slow. He said, we'll make too slow for Shakur. Man, but this is the thing, Jose. I don't have no problem with who you have winning, but I could tell that you have a boxing mind, right? You have sense. You're not just an idiot and just gonna come in here and say, oh yeah, Oscar's gonna beat the shit out of Shakur just because you want him to win. A lot of people do that with fighters they like. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that. Ain't nothing wrong with you want Oscar to win. And to tell you the truth, I was a big Oscar Valdez fan myself before that whole PED scandal. I actually been to see Oscar Valdez fight. I used to support Oscar Valdez. I went to, several Oscar Valdez's fights to see him fight. You know what I'm saying? I was a big supporter of Oscar Valdez, and but I don't support him no more. I don't fuck with him. After the whole PED situation and all of that, but and then them letting him fight and me knowing what was behind them letting him fight, I just couldn't. That situation put a sour taste in my mouth. Omega Red. Oh man, you already know. I'm with it, Omega. We're gonna have to set that up. We're gonna have to set that up. That's right up my alley. Yeah. I ain't no hunting. But I'll fish all day. I ain't into hunting, but I'll fish all day. My daddy, he used to be into that hunting possum and shit. You know what I'm saying? My folks, country. My pops in them country. But nah, I ain't in no hunting, but I'll fish all day. But yeah. So this is what I want to talk about first, right? I want to give y'all some news that's going on in boxing that y'all might not heard about. So Jaime Munguia, right? We get on everybody else's head, right? We talk about Jamal Charlo. We give him a fucking fit because he ain't fighting the fighters that we want to see him fight. We talk about Gervonta Tank Davis. We give Gervonta Tank Davis a fit. But I'm looking at Jaime Munguia, and I said, you know what? Jaime Munguia, he around the same age as Gervonta Tank Davis, right? The motherfucker got 38 fights. Listen to what I'm saying again. Jaime Munguia got 38 fights. And he still ain't fighting none of the big dogs. He still ain't fighting nobody, and he got 38. The man is 38-0. And he been cherry picking and ducking his whole career. Now, I said, okay, Jaime Munguia is in the same boat as with me personally. He in the same boat, right, as a Jamal Charlo, who else? Jamal Charlo, motherfucking Gervonta Davis, all of them to me, he in the same boat because I said, okay, it ain't no more soft touches, right? You got to fight somebody, and it got to be a top level opponent, your next opponent. So I'm reading a story on Jaime Munguia, and he's fighting a Demetrius Ballard, right? A Demetrius Ballard. I said, all right, well, I ain't never heard of this dude, Demetrius Ballard. So I know it ain't a top level opponent. I ain't never heard of this motherfucker, right? You fighting Demetrius Ballard. Why are they? Where is they coming up with all of these Rudy Poot ass opponents for Jaime Munguia? Hold on. And why isn't he getting, you know what I'm saying, shitted on for never fighting no top level opponents? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers is praising him for fighting dudes like Gabe Rosado that then lost to everybody. Gabe Rosado been getting his ass whooped since fucking 2014. Let's keep it 100. Gabe Rosado was a punching bag way. Gabe Rosado, motherfucker got 20. Gabe Rosado record. And Gabe Rosado, he's a cool fighter, but come on now. Jaime Munguia is getting praised. He's 38-0, but he's getting praised for fighting guys like Gabe Rosado that has a record of 26 wins, 13 losses, and 1 draw. Right? You know what I'm saying? So now he's going to fight Demetrius Ballard. Now look at this guy. He's 21-0 with 1 draw. And I'm looking at his resume. And I can't pronounce none of the names on this fucking resume. Most of these, he ain't fought nobody. I'm going to go down this guy, Jaime Ballard. I'm going to go down his resume. And y'all stop me when you hear a name you know. Kelly Henderson, Marcus Clay, Lekin Bayfield, Marlon Farr, Quincy Minor, Barry Trotter, Thomas Gifford, Tyler Burrs, Jason Zabursky, Joshua Abondo, Juan Carlos Rojas Sanchez, Fabian Pena, Leslie Mayado, Victor Finesco Caldros, Ernesto Barros, Gorgo Horvath. I told you half of this shit you can't even fucking pronounce. Zoltan Sarah, Richard Adrian Luna, Jaime Solario, Alan Campo, Victor Finesco, Alias Espadas, Yamachi Falco, Paul Venezuela Jr. Now he gonna fight Jaime Munguia, right? So I just named you all the opponents that this dude, Demetrius Ballard, that's finna fight Jaime Munguia. I just named you his whole fucking resume. And we don't know not one fighter on his resume. Matter of fact, he hasn't fought one fighter that has, he ain't never even fought nobody that was undefeated. All these dudes is just horrible. And Jaime Munguia, I don't hear the mainstream media coming out shitting on Jaime Munguia. I don't hear the mainstream media coming out saying, okay, the jig is up, Jaime Munguia. It's time for you to get in there and fight somebody. I don't see none of them dudes on DAZN getting on Jaime Munguia. The motherfucker 38-0. But they talk about Demetrius Andrade saying that he needs to fight somebody. When is Demetrius Andrade going to fight somebody? But Jaime Munguia got more fights than Andrade, and this motherfucker still fighting journeymen. That shit ain't acceptable. I don't give a fuck if he is 24. He got 38 fights. It ain't acceptable. He got 38 fights, and he's been a champion, right? He has 38 fights, and he's been a champion, right? So when is he going to fight somebody? You know? When is he finally going to step up and fight somebody? If we expected Jamal Charlo, we expected Gervonta Tank Davis, you know, Ryan Garcia. We expected the most out of all of these fighters, but Jaime Munguia can sit his ugly ass over there and just cherry pick around, right? Nobody is demanding for Jaime Munguia to do shit. This smoothie right here, yeah, this is what I'm talking about right here. SWAT TX said he got the resume of Jake Paul. For real. Real talk. He got the resume of a fucking Jake Paul, and the man got 38 fights. He's 38 and 0. You know what I'm saying? 38 and 0. I don't understand this shit, man. Jaime Munguia, like I said, he fighting another fucking journeyman. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, bro. What's in the drink? I got strawberries, peaches, blackberries. What else I got in there? Bananas, pineapples, and mango. What's happening with it? Cortez Bowles in the building. Yeah, so that's what I got in that joint, man. But yeah, you know, I'm sick of this shit going on in boxing. Like, this dude need to step up and fight somebody. You know, this dude need to step up and fight somebody. And it's, you know, and then when he does fight somebody that has a little bit of a background, right? They all the same opponents, fucking punching bags that's gonna stand right in front of him. We sick of him fighting Dennis Hogan's and Patrick Atoli's and Gary O'Sullivan's and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Jaime Munguia, because see, Golden Boy is trying to present Jaime Munguia to us like he gonna be a big superstar in the game. Why is guys, since my man Dundada said, well, you got to remember he only 24. Well, he got 38 fights. 38 fights. So why is Gervonta Tank Davis, Teofimo Lopez, motherfucking Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, all of these guys, why are they fighting top names, right? And then we demanding fucking blind Ryan Garcia to fight the top names, but nobody is demanding Jaime Munguia to do shit. Why isn't Jaime Munguia being demanded to fight some of these dogs? Why did Jaime Munguia skip over a whole weight class at 154? When he was at 154, he had a whole weight class of killers, and he ain't have to fight now one of them. 38 fights, 38 and 0, and he's been able to skip over a whole weight class of killers, and he had another new weight class, right, that he's been at for a minute, and he done skipped over all the killers so far in that weight class. I understand. Make this shit make sense to me. Dundada says that's fair, but I don't think he get pressed out because they don't think highly of him. Well, when I watch The Zone and they talk about Jaime Munguia, I hear them talking about Jaime Munguia like he the next big thing. You know what I'm saying? That Golden Boy. They praising his knockout power, talking about how dangerous he is and everything. And then they trying to match him up with Triple G. No, we want to see him fight one of the killers. Right? You can't you can't have 38 fights and skip over a whole weight class of killers, go to another weight class and skip over everybody there and think that shit is acceptable. And now you fighting a dude named fucking what's the dude? Demetrius Ballard. Yeah, man, what's up with Jaime? Jaime Munguia is turning out to be another fucking Triple G. That's all he is another fraud, another Triple G. By the way, if you look at the opponents he fight, 38 motherfuckers that don't nobody give a goddamn about. He done fought 38 dudes that don't nobody give a damn about. And he got all of that praise because he went out and he beat Gabriel Rosado, right? That is 26 and 13. 26 wins and 13 losses. But we praising guys like Gabriel Rosado because Jaime Munguia fight. Man, this some bullshit. I am Trill Will in the building. What's happening with it, Trill? Yeah. So you know what, Jaime? You know what? I'm not gonna disrespect Triple G like that. Even though I don't like Triple G, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of that shit on his resume is fraud. Triple G could fight. He could fight his ass off. So I ain't gonna sit up here and just, you know, disrespect Triple G and put him and say that him and Jaime Munguia is basically twins and shit. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna tell you who Jaime Munguia is. Want me to tell y'all who Jaime Munguia is? Want me to tell y'all who Jaime Munguia is? Jaime Munguia is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And you might ask yourself, why is he calling Jaime Munguia Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? Well, because when Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was coming up in the game, just like Jaime Munguia, he hadn't fought nobody. He was fighting all of the fucking Rudy Poot ass names. He was ducking over all of the smoke. And he had a ton of fucking wins, and he had an O on his record. Let me go down Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s resume before he ever lost. He was, let me see. I got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. He was 47-0. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was 47-0 before he ever lost. Then he finally stepped up, right? He finally stepped up and fought one of the top dogs in Sergio Martinez. Remember that? Remember? Because he was ducking Sergio Martinez for a long time. Sergio Martinez was calling out Julio Cesar Chavez for a long time. He was wanting that smoke. And he couldn't get that fight with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. But the motherfucker was, I think, what did I just say, 47-0? He was 47-0 before he ever lost. So he padded up his record, and then he finally had to fight a top dog in the division. And what did my man Martinez do to him? What did Sergio Martinez do to Julio Cesar Chavez when he finally stepped up? He beat him every motherfucking round. And yeah, that I think it was the last round. Chavez hurt Martinez like the last few, you know what I'm saying, last few seconds or whatever of the last round. He hurt him, but he lost every fucking round. He finally stepped up, fought somebody, right, that was actually worth fighting, and he beat the dog shit out of Chavez Jr. for almost 12 straight rounds. Beat the shit out of him for almost 12 straight rounds. Dominated him. And at that point, I knew he wasn't shit before that because I said, man, they just, and really, he had already had some L's on his record that should have been L's, but because of the protection that they gave him, because of who he was, you know what I'm saying? He had some robberies on his record that gave him some W's that he shouldn't have had on his record. So I had seen Chavez actually lose a few fights before that, right? But he had, you know what I'm saying, his opponents got robbed. This is what Jaime Munguia is to me. That's what he is to me. He's a Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. when Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was coming up in the game, padding his record, right? Fighting a whole bunch of nobodies, and then finally had to step up. So if Jaime Munguia, if he got to step up and fight a Chris Eubank Jr., I think Chris Eubank could beat the shit out of him. He got to step up and fight a Jamal Charlo or somebody. Jamal Charlo will beat the shit out of him. You know what I'm talking about? If Erickson Lubin or one of them dudes move up, or if he had a fought Erickson Lubin or one of the or Laura or somebody like that, if he fight Laura gonna beat the shit out of him. If he step up, if Erickson Lubin and him had a locked up at 154, Erickson Lubin would have beat the shit out of him. You know, so dude is a fraud. Dude is a fraud. You know what I'm saying? And I want to get on that shit. Pimp Adrian. Jamal Charlo will beat the dog shit out of motherfucking Jaime Munguia. Jamal Charlo beat the shit out of Jaime Munguia. That's why Jaime Munguia been over there hiding behind Oscar De La Hoya, getting protected. That's what we call protection. Jaime Munguia, a motherfucker with 38 fights, and still ain't fought no top level now. You feel me? I just wanted to point that out, you know, because he over there hiding and shit, and he's ducking, hiding and ducking, and ain't nobody noticing that the motherfucker got 38 fights and he still ain't fought nobody really. You feel me? Ain't nobody noticing that. So I just wanted to put that out, you know, in the universe. I wanted to put that out in the universe so we can actually see that Jaime Munguia is a fraud. So that's all. My man Juan Ramos in the building. Let me get some of my people. Let me call out some of my people that was in the building that came through while I was cooking. That I missed. We got OG Sean the Dunn, Dead Game Boxing. I think I called What's Your Point? I got you earlier. The Assassin DLJ, Shady Girl 85, Skinny 2 Liddy in the building. My brother's keeper in the building. My man SWAT TX. Who else? Smooth Groove Boxing. What's happening with it? Straight from that Oak Cliff. Mike Rhyme in the building. Stan 92. DP Rocker in the building. Dundada. John Kramer in the building. Who else we got? Let me see. 817 in the building. And 817, drop your link so everybody can know to sub to your channel you got. Cortez Bowles, I got him already. My man Devin Blocker in the building. Juan Ramos. Let me see who else I missed. Adonis K3. Who else did I miss? I think I pretty much. My man Batman in the building. What's happening with it, Bat? Let me see. Joe the Beast in the building. Nitty G in the building. Yeah, my man Knockout Boxing 86 TV in the building. Knockout had a hell of a show last night. Hell of a show on Knockout. Shit. Yeah, I am. Will, man, the dude is a fraud, bro. You can't keep on, you know what I'm saying, trying to fucking hide this dude right up on our fucking nose. We gonna call this shit out. Dude is a fraud. Ain't no fucking way he should have 38 fights and he still ain't fought nobody. World Combat in the building. I ain't see Scotty. Cali Fire. What's happening with it? Salute. I don't see. Oh, well, yeah. My man World Combat in the building. What's happening with it? I didn't even see Scotty in the building. But so yeah. Now some more stuff. Stuff I want to cook on. Let's get into Bob Arum, what Bob Arum had to say about Devin Haney. Coach in the building, what's happening with it? Full Counter Boxing. Let's get into what Bob Arum recently had to say. Bob Arum did his little, interview. I think it was on Fight Hype. He did an interview, and he spoke on the whole Vasyl Lomachenko and George Kambosos and Devin Haney, right? And this is what Bob Arum had to say in regards to Devin Haney getting a fight with George Kambosos. Bob Arum says that nobody is gonna know. Listen, check this out, y'all. Bob Arum he say nobody gonna know Devin Haney over there in Australia. he said Devin Haney is not a name that nobody. He said if you take Devin Haney to Australia, nobody gonna know who he is. He said nobody gonna know who he is. He said, but on the other hand, Vasyl Lomachenko is a worldwide star. He said Vasyl Lomachenko is world renowned. Everybody knows Vasyl Lomachenko, no matter what country you go to. He said if you take Vasyl Lomachenko to Australia, it's gonna be a much bigger fight with Vasyl Lomachenko and George Kambosos because everybody in Australia is going to know who Vasyl Lomachenko is. So I said, how the fuck, where have I been? Have I been 6 feet under and I just rose up today? Because last time I checked, Vasyl Lomachenko wasn't a star no fucking where. Now he probably a star in the Ukraine, but the last time I checked, the Ukraine and Australia are not the same. You know what I'm saying? The Ukraine and Australia are not the same. So how is Bob Arum gonna sit up here and tell us a bold-faced lie and say that if Vasyl Lomachenko goes to Australia, everybody knows Vasyl Lomachenko because he's a world-renowned superstar. He's known all over the world. Devin Haney, nobody is going to know Devin Haney if they take him to Australia. Well, I guarantee you this. If they know who the fuck Vasyl Lomachenko is, what Bob Arum is saying, I guarantee you that they're going to know who Devin Haney is. That's some bullshit. And we go back to Bob Arum showing favoritism to white fighters. And don't get me wrong, it is Bob Arum's job to push for his fighter to get the fight, right? Because his fighter is Vasyl Lomachenko. Bob Arum is a promoter. So it is his job to push for his fighter to get the fight, right? That's what he's supposed to do as a promoter. So I look at it and I say, well, Bob Arum is just doing his job, and that's what he's supposed to do as a promoter. But then when I sit back and I look at the overall picture, right? And I'm just keeping it 100. When I sit back and I look at the overall picture, I say, when was the last time have I seen Bob Arum actually, besides Vasyl Lomachenko, when was the last time have I seen Bob Arum actually push for a fighter as tough and as hard as he pushing for Vasyl Lomachenko? And I'm thinking, and I continue to think, and I couldn't think of nobody. And you know what I'm saying? I couldn't think of nobody besides maybe the only fighter I could think of is Tyson Fury when it came to fighting Anthony Joshua. That Bob Arum was actually out there doing interviews on the forefront, pushing for that particular fighter to get another big fight, right? And I'm not talking about back in the 90s and 80s. I'm talking about as of recent years. When was the last time, besides Vasyl Lomachenko, right, was Bob Arum actually pushing for another one of his fighters to get a big fight, doing interviews and really, really out there, you know what I'm saying, on the forefront, pushing for it? And I said the only fighter is Tyson Fury. And that was with the Anthony Joshua situation. He was out doing interviews and he was actually pushing for that fight. What do Vasyl Lomachenko and Tyson Fury have in common? They both great fighters. I like, you know what I'm saying? They both great fighters. I'm a Vasyl Lomachenko fan. Everybody know I'm a big fan of Vasyl Lomachenko, right? Now, I'm not talking about back then, y'all. I'm talking about at recent years. So I'm talking about within the last 5 years, y'all. Okay, so let me clarify exactly what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about within the last 5 years, when was Bob Arum pushing for a fighter like he doing? You feel me? And the only one I could think of was Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury and Vasil Lomachenko, they both white fighters. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing that they have in common. If they don't have nothing else in common, they both white fighters, right? Now, Dundada says Inoue and Joshua. He ain't pushing for Inoue and Joshua. Like the fights that he pushing them for is pretty much in-house. And all of that, right? You don't see Bob Arum on the forefront really backing his fighters and promoting them and pushing them to get another big fight. He doing that with Vasil Lomachenko. That's what he's supposed to be doing because that is his fighter. But he ain't doing it for none of these other fighters, right? To really get to big fights. Now, he was pump faking like he was doing it for Crawford to fight Spence. But behind closed doors, he wasn't really doing that because what he was doing is he was lying to the fans saying that, oh, that fight ain't going to happen because Spence is ducking. He wasn't really pushing to make that fight happen because if he wanted to push to make that fight happen, they probably could have made that fight happen. So, and like I said, I'm a Vasil Lomachenko fan, but we got to call the bullshit where the bullshit. Why isn't Bob Arum pushing for some of his other fighters that is not Tyson Fury, that's not named Vasil Lomachenko as hard as he do them? He do interviews and he pushing for them to get fights. Whether it's you know what I'm saying? He pushing for them to get the biggest fights. He ain't doing that for nobody else. And that's something that I noticed, you know. That's something that I noticed. So I'm just saying. Now, as far as what he's talking, that Vasil Lomachenko is a world-renowned superstar, and people know who Vasil Lomachenko is all over the world. Well, if that was the case, if people know who Vasil, and like I said, I am a Vasil Lomachenko fan, but what I do over here is I keep it real, whether I'm a fan of you or not. Now, answer this question for me. If people know who Vasil Lomachenko is all around the world, and he's just such a big star, why hasn't Bob Arum ever put Vasil Lomachenko on pay-per-view? Why? Why isn't Vasil Lomachenko on pay-per-view? If somebody can answer that for me, please answer that for me. If this man is a world-renowned star and everybody knows who Vasil Lomachenko is, right? That was his main key point on why Vasil Lomachenko should get the fight over Devin Haney, because nobody is going to know Devin Haney in Australia, and Vasil Lomachenko is a world-renowned superstar, and everybody know who he is no matter where you go. Tell me, if that is the case, why hasn't Bob Arum capitalized on Vasil Lomachenko and put him on pay-per-view if everybody knows who he is around the world? I want to know that because I'm confused. If I'm listening to Bob Arum, that's my next thought. Why isn't this man a pay-per-view star? Why haven't you capitalized on Vasil Lomachenko if he's a world-renowned star? Make it make sense to me. Make this shit make sense to me, y'all. Mr. Mechanical say Loma ain't none. He said no, but in his country and by some U.S. boxing. Exactly. Loma is not known. I don't even think Loma have a bigger, real talk, I don't think Loma got a bigger name than Devin Haney. Ramel Lane, exactly. You dig? Juan Ramos said Loma ain't known like that. Like that, he said, like them Olympic medals don't mean, yeah. Them Olympic medals don't mean shit, bro. To tell you the truth, let's keep it 100. I watch Olympic boxing, but it's hard for me to watch Olympic boxing because you don't know when it's coming on. So tell me, how many people is watching Olympic boxing like that around the world? Olympic boxing ain't that big. They trying to shut Olympic boxing down right? They trying to shut it down. And if Olympic boxing was as big as, say, gymnastics or basketball or track and field, do you think that they would be shutting it down? Now they shutting it down. They're trying to shut it down because all the dirty shit that's going on. But they're able to do that because it's not as big as basketball, swimming, track and field, and the other sports in the Olympics. Olympic boxing ain't that big. Let's just keep it 100. So with that being said, Lomachenko is not no world-renowned star just because he was an Olympic gold medalist. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko is not no star. Lomachenko's name is not even bigger than Devin Haney. And Lomachenko is an Olympic gold medalist. Lomachenko has been in the game way longer than Devin Haney. But in the boxing world, his name ain't no bigger than Devin Haney's. And my man, David Stubetta, salute, man. I appreciate you coming through in that super chat, showing love, man. He said, for the community, man, I appreciate you. Now, outside the box media, I 100% thinks that Lomachenko will beat George Kambosos. I'll be rooting. Like I said, I'm a fan of Lomachenko. I'll be rooting for him to beat George Kambosos. I've always been a fan of Lomachenko. I'm going to tell y'all what made me a fan of Lomachenko. You know, what made me a fan of Lomachenko is because Gary Russell Jr. he's been one of my favorite fighters since nobody even know who Gary Russell Jr. was, and he was one of my favorite fighters. So when Lomachenko fought Gary Russell, y'all know who I'm riding with. I mean, I'm like, man, Gary Russell gonna beat the shit out this dude. I said, man, this dude, I thought Lomachenko was a fraud. I said, Lomachenko is gonna is gonna get his ass beat by Gary Russell. Ain't no way he beating Gary Russell. And he beat Gary Russell. No, we know of the circumstances that happened. Gary Russell was dehydrated and whatever, but I didn't know that back then. But I seen him beat Gary Russell. And to me, I'm going to keep it 100. I thought he beat Gary Russell clearly. A lot of people thought that Gary Russell could have edged the fight out or the fight was that close. I didn't think so. I thought that he beat Gary Russell clearly. I talked to Batman about this shit. I thought he beat Gary Russell pretty clearly to me. And I said, when he beat Gary Russell, I said, this motherfucking white dude is a bad motherfucker right here. That's what I said. I couldn't believe he beat Gary Russell. That shit shocked me. That's like that. Him beating Gary Russell was the equivalent back then to me if an Oscar Valdez came and beat Shakur Stevenson. That's how shocked I was. And I said, damn, this dude fucking bad for real. He just beat Gary Russell, my favorite fighter. I didn't see nobody beating Gary Russell. I didn't see Gary Russell losing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? And he did that. So he made me respect him. And then he went on and fought Nicholas Walters, right? Then again, I said the Axeman is a motherfucking monster. Ain't no way he gonna beat the Axeman. The Axeman is big, right? He got power. He can buck. He got it all. I said, ain't no way he gonna go beat Nicholas Walters, the Axeman. It ain't happening. I said, we finally got somebody that's gonna beat the shit out this fucking white boy. I'm just keeping it 100. I said, man, that Nicholas Walters been finna beat the shit out this dude. And he beat the dog shit out of Nicholas Walters, regardless of the circumstances, regardless that Nicholas Walters was laid off and whatever it was. He still got in the ring and they fought, right? At the end of the day. And he made Nicholas Walters, right, look like a fucking amateur. It made him sit on the stool and quit. After that, I was sold. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. After that, I was sold. I said, you know what? I like this dude. I said, I like this motherfucker. And plus, the skills that he displayed, you know what I'm saying? The footwork and the angles he was using, that shit was amazing to me. I ain't gonna lie, because I hadn't seen a fighter fight like that, you know, in a long time. we've seen fighters come along. If you've been watching boxing, you know what I'm saying, as long as I have, right? I've been watching boxing. Like I said, the fight that turned me on to boxing, that made me fall in love with boxing, was Evander Holyfield versus the white Muhammad Ali when I was a kid. Now, I was watching boxing before that, but that's the first fight that I can really, really remember sitting down with my pops, and I remembered it. You know what I'm saying? I think I was probably like, it was in 86, probably was like 5 or something. And that's when I really, really just fell in love with boxing. You know, and from there on, you know, that's what it was. But so I have seen fighters, you know, display the skill set, the Vasil Lomachenko. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like it ain't nothing that we just never seen before. But you know, we hadn't seen a fighter display those tools that he was displaying with the footwork and everything, right? I'm just saying his footwork, right? And just do that shit so smoothly and transition like he did. I like that shit. I'm a boxing fan. That shit was, you know what I'm saying? I love that shit. And that's when I became a fan of Vasil Lomachenko, because he made me a fan. I didn't just like, oh, I like him. You know what I'm saying? He made me become a fan, just like Terrell Owens made me become a fan when he fucking was shitting on the Cowboys, my team. And I was fucking so mad. I was so mad I wanted to break my TV when T.O. was shitting on the Cowboys, and he ran out and stood on that fucking star, right? And I said, man, fuck him. I was mad. And then he did it again. Then he burnt, I forgot who was playing him. He burnt him again, right? Burnt him again and went on the star again. And I'm talking about he was just dogging the Cowboys. He was dogging them, right? And I said, you know what? I like this motherfucker right here. I said, because he's talking shit, they can't stop him, and they can't do nothing about it, and he's letting everybody know, right? I'm shitting on your whole team, and you can't do nothing about it. I said, you know what? I like that. He made me respect him. He made me respect him. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do nothing but respect him. And from there on, he became my favorite football player. You know, respect is earned, not given. You know what I'm saying? Respect is earned. Blue Cooks, what's happening? Salute. Outside the line said he don't think he beats Gary Russell today. I don't either. I think, you know what I'm saying? But we got to get him in the ring. Juan Ramos said if you cut his angles off, he basic. Well, Vasil Lomachenko in his prime, once he got in his prime, yeah, he did lose to Orlando Salido. It was some circumstances behind that, you know. Orlando Salido, he was way overweight, and he lost to Orlando Salido, but you know, I think Vasil Lomachenko was still getting his feet wet as far as, you know, learning how to box as a pro. But, you know, he still lost. But if they had that rematch, 10 times out of 10, Lomachenko would have beat him. Man, just what it is. Knockout Boxing 86 TV says, I think Loma watches Kambosos. He said 50-50 fight between him and Haney. Tank stops him between 8 and 10. You said Kambosos and Haney is a 50-50 fight. I don't think so. I think that Devin Haney watched George Kambosos. And I think that George Kambosos knows that Devin Haney gonna watch him, just like Lomachenko gonna watch him. And he that's why he giving Devin Haney the runaround. Mr. Mechanical said Loma best days is behind him. He said, we'll see what he does versus top 135-pound guys. And he might be right. So we got to think. Lomachenko had 400 amateur fights. That's a lot of amateur fights. He ain't really had a lot of fights in the pros. And I think what he only got, he got like 15, 16 fights. So he don't got a lot of fights in the pro. Let me pull his resume up real quick. I think he got like 15, 16 fights on him. That's hold on, y'all. Let me see how many fights Vasil Lomachenko got. Yeah, he only got 18 fights. The man got 18 fights. So 15, 16, 17, let me see. 18, let me see, 19. Yeah, he only got 18 fights. So, and how old is he? He's 33. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if his best days is behind him because he only got, like I said, 18 fights. So with that being said, he could have preserved his body, but we don't know how much we don't know how many years got taken off of him in the amateurs. 400 fights is a lot. Even though you only fighting 3-round fights, it's still a lot. 400 fights is a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't know. He don't look, he definitely not as dominating as he was in the lower weight classes as he is at 135. He definitely not as dominating as he was at 126 and 130. Definitely not. So we'll see, but I definitely think that he gonna beat if he do fight George Kambosos, he gonna beat him. But I don't like that. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? George Kambosos needs to be a man of his word. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a man of your word and do what you say you're gonna do. But either way, if George Kambosos fight either one of them, the motherfucker gonna lose. Straight up. And let me read something to y'all that he said, because we was just talking about how George Kambosos then got these titles and he done made a whole 360. He acted just like Tio. This is what George Kambosos had to say to Bob Arum. He said, Mr. Arum, with all due respect, they're not coming to watch Haney or Lomachenko. He says they coming to watch the Emperor return home with all the belts after taking over boxing. These belts are Australia's and Greece's, and he says, and they're going to need an army to take them off us. Now this motherfucker won one big fight, got the belts, and he talking about he didn't took over boxing. This dude, George Kambosos, is acting just like Teofimo Lopez. The main fighter that he hated, his whole thing about Teofimo Lopez, he hated Teo because Teo was acting too motherfucking cocky and acting like his shit don't stink. Going around because he beat Vasil Lomachenko and acting like he owned the world. George Kambosos is doing the same fucking thing. Now, it made me think, is the reason he really hated Teofimo Lopez is because he was jealous of Teofimo? He wanted Teofimo's spot. And as soon as he got the chance, he was going to act just like Teofimo, because that's what he's doing. He acting just like Teofimo. So he was sitting there crying and complaining about how Teofimo Lopez act, and them motherfucker doing the same exact thing. You feel me? Doing the same shit. Juan Ramos said Lomo was overhyped, most overhyped pro fighter of all time. They had Buddy #1 pound for pound with 9 fights and a loss above SOG and Bud. Bro, that's top rank. That's top rank for you. That's, you know what I'm saying? If you go all of them years looking for a great white hype, yeah, you know what I'm saying? The closer you is to it, they're gonna make you that. Even if you ain't that, they're gonna make that. They're gonna make you that, you know. That's why I said that I don't think PBC capitalized on Caleb Plant like they should have. I don't think they capitalized on Caleb Plant like they should have. Right? Caleb Plant could be a huge star. They didn't capitalize on Caleb Plant like they should have. He could be a huge star. They didn't, you know what I'm saying, put the foot for it and promote him like they should have. 817 said Loma was in his 20s beating up teens. That's a fact. The motherfucker didn't come out of Olympics until he was what, like 26? So you know, all of them in boxing want a great white hype. All of them. You know what I'm saying? If they could get a fucking great white fighter that take over boxing, you know what I'm saying, over a Mexican or a black, oh man, they going full speed ahead. You feel me? They going full speed ahead with that. Knockout said, I was saying Loma versus Haney is 50-50, bro. Haney washes Cambosas, he says, in my opinion as well. Oh, yeah. He said, wait, let me read. Loma versus Haney is 50-50. Yeah, I agree with you, Knockout. I definitely agree with you that Loma versus Haney is a 50-50 fight. That's a difficult fight for both fighters. You know, Loma versus Haney. I know a lot of people got Haney watching Vasil Lomachenko, but I don't. I think it's like Knockout. It's a 50-50 fight. It's a difficult fight for Haney. That's a difficult fight for Vasil Lomachenko. That's a fight that I would love to see. I would love to see that fight. But yeah, Bob Arum, man, he full of shit, acting like nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? Running around acting like nobody knows Devin Haney. But let's move on. Y'all hit my like button. We're gonna move on. Let's move on to the next topic, man. Y'all hit my like button. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you ain't subbed to the channel. And let's get into it. Let's get into the next topic. Thurman. Let's talk about Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson. So Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson, y'all, is pretty much done. The only thing they was waiting on is for the fighters to agree on the financial aspect of it. And they've agreed on the money. So the fight is pretty much done. We gonna get. I told you, Batman. What I tell you? I told you they gonna make that fight, Batman. So they got the fight done. It's happening. You did what I'm saying? I believe it's finna be in Vegas. I want to go to that fight. That's a fight I need to go to. Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur is finally getting his time to shine. He's finally getting his time, right? And with that being said, I asked this question. Is Shakur Stevenson the next big mega star, right? Is Shakur Stevenson the next big mega star in boxing that goes on when we talk about Shakur 8 years from now, he's still undefeated, right? And now he's headlining big mega pay-per-view cards, right? Because in boxing, one thing you got to be able to stay, to be able to be a superstar, right? Manny Pacquiao was an exception, right? But as an American fighter, to be a huge superstar like Floyd Mayweather, you got to be able to beat everybody you get in the ring with. You got to be able to fight the top names and knock them all down, right? Along with having, you know, sellability where they can sell you. You can sell a fight by talking shit. You can get the fans intrigued. We saw Floyd Mayweather do it. Is this the start of a new superstar? Is this the start of a new superstar coming of age, Shakur Stevenson? Can Shakur Stevenson take over the sport of boxing? Something that Adrian Broner used to say all the time. Oh, I'm gonna take over the sport of boxing. You know, I'm the next Floyd. I'm gonna be the next Floyd. Yeah, Yeah, I'm gonna take over the sport of boxing. Yeah. You know, me and Floyd, we the same. You know, I'm just like Floyd. You know, we the same. Can Shakur Stevenson take over can he take over boxing? like Floyd did. Knockout say Shakur will be cool and remain undefeated as long as he don't get in the ring with Gervonta Tank Davis. Everybody else he clearly better than. And he's clearly better than Gervonta Tank Davis. And if Gervonta Tank Davis ever stepped up and got in the ring with Shakur Stevenson, I'll be willing to bet you anything you want to bet that Gervonta Tank Davis can't hold the candle to Shakur Stevenson. You can have all the power in the world, but what you gonna do if you can't hit him? Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. had a whole lot of power. Oscar De La Hoya knocked out a whole bunch of fucking fighters, had a whole bunch of power. What the fuck did they do when they got in the ring with Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker? What did they do? Knockout boxing, 86 TV. What did Oscar De La Hoya's power and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s power do to Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker when they got in the ring with him? Let me know. Let me know. What did that power do when they got in the ring with Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker? Nothing. Because you can't hurt what you can't hit. Tank Davis ain't even never fought a boxer. Name one fighter that had boxing skills, all around boxing skills, right? The closest thing to a boxer that we ever seen Tank Davis in the ring with was Jose Pedraza 6 years ago. Like, I fuck with Tank. Tank is a beast. He not fucking with Shakur Stevenson. When you break the end, you love to break fights down, knockout. You love to study fighters and break fights down. So it's Tank Davis. Can he outbox Shakur Stevenson? Mid-range, inside, outside? Can he outbox Shakur? No, he can't. So the only thing you praying for is for Gervonta Tank Davis' power to come through. He couldn't catch Isaac Cruz. How you think he gonna fucking just get in there and beat down Shakur Stevenson and catch him with flush power shots? We talking about a man that opponents only land like, 4% of their punches on him. Opponents have the lowest connect rate of anybody in all of boxing when they fight Shakur Stevenson. He has the lowest connect percentage against him in all of boxing, and you telling me that Gervonta Tank Davis is a threat to him? Because, and I know why y'all saying this, because Gervonta got power. I mean, y'all let me know that. Please let me know that, J.A. Dixon. You said it ain't like we seen Shakur in there with a killer. Okay, J.A. Dixon, what killer have we seen in there with Gervonta Tank Davis? I want to know. Since you saying we ain't seen Shakur Stevenson in there with a killer, well, let me know what killer we seen in there in the ring with Gervonta Tank Davis. What killer did Gervonta Tank Davis get in the ring with? I want to know. It's not deflecting, J.A. Dixon. Answer the question for me. You said I'm acting like we seen Shakur in there with killers. Okay, what killers have we seen Gervonta Tank Davis in there with? That's all I'm asking. Oh, I didn't think so. I didn't think you could answer that. Juan Ramos says Tank don't let his hands go enough to beat Shakur. And a whole lot of other things he don't have enough to beat Shakur. Now, now, like I said, I'm not finna shit on him. He's a hell of a fighter, you know, but he's not on Shakur level. Coach say a good bigger man beats a good smaller man. He said Shakur would whoop him easy. Shakur would destroy every opponent Tank face. Easy. See, you know what this is, Coach? And Coach, I'm gonna shoot you a link if you want to hop on here and cook, Coach. But let me send Coach this link real quick before, because when we get to cooking on this main topic. So you know what this is? This is a case of people not putting facts over feelings. See, your feelings is we love, you know what I'm saying? We love Gervonta Tank Davis. He's excited. And I want Gervonta Tank Davis to be able to beat everybody. That's y'all feelings. But the reality is, if you break down those two fighters, that's not a difficult fight for Shakur Stevenson. From what I've seen from Gervonta Tank Davis, when you match up the styles, it's not a difficult fight for Shakur Stevenson. Not at all. You said Jose Pedraza was better than Herring. Okay, bet. You said Jose Pedraza was, J.A. Dixon says Jose Pedraza was a much better fighter than Jamel Herring. Okay, cool. Bet. That's what we're going to do? Okay, let's do this then. Go ahead and let's get into it then, right? Because you're only as good as the opponents that you beat, right? So, matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up on here. We're going to pull it up. I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to do this. Since Jose Pedraza, according to my man J.A. Dixon, was a much better opponent than Jamel Herring, let's pull it up. Let's look. Let's look and see what Jose Pedraza was. Let's see. We're gonna see. He might be right, but we're gonna see. Give me 1 second, y'all, so I can get ready to share this screen. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Pull up Jose Pedraza. Okay. Let me share this screen. Hold on. Chrome. Let's see. Okay. Right here, we got Jose Pedraza's resume right in front of us. So we got Felix Rivera, Corbin Page, Tommy Archibald, Pedro Antonio Solicito, John Wamposh, Herbert. Okay, all these opponents. I don't even, not gonna name this. Now, he did fight and beat Tevin Farmer when Tevin Farmer had 7 wins and 3 losses and 1 draw. Now, Tevin Farmer just had started boxing. If you know Tevin Farmer's, if you know his story, he didn't have no amateur background and he didn't start boxing until he was in his 20s, right? So Tevin Farmer just had started boxing. So we ain't finna count him beat that version of Tevin Farmer. Rest of these fighters, Gerardo, Sir, we don't know none of these guys. None of these dudes we know. We don't know who none of these dudes is. You see their records. 19-12, 14-2, 26-6, 15-5, 20-14. All these dudes, he ain't beat nobody yet, right? Now, he beat an old Edna Cherry. Edna Cherry, he was cool in his day, but Edna Cherry was 34-6 at the time. He was more a journeyman. Edna Cherry was a journeyman, right? Stephen Smith don't know him. And so, Jose Pedraza, he had the IBF World Featherweight title, right? So, he won the vacant featherweight title versus Klimov. Klimov was he was a solid opponent. You know what I'm saying? Klimov was solid. I remember Klimov. He didn't really go on to do nothing in his career because he had
He went on to be 20 wins, 6 losses, and he got knocked out twice. So that was how Pedraza got his belt. He fought Klimov. He won a vacant title, right? Then he fought Edna Cherry. He fought a dude named Steven Smith, and then he fought Gervonta Tank Davis, and he got knocked out by Tank. So that's what he had done before he fought Tank, leading up to the Tank fight, right? Then after that, he lost to Jose Zepeda, right? So he lost to Jose Zepeda also. And the rest of these dudes is, you know, he ain't fought nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? He lost to Vasil Lomachenko. Then somewhere, did he fight Vasil Lomachenko? No, he didn't fight Vasil Lomachenko. So he never really fought nobody. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He ain't really done nothing. Pedraza ain't nothing special. I just showed it right now. Now we gonna pull up. He cool. Pedraza's a cool fighter. But for you to say that Pedraza is a way better opponent than Jamel Herring, how is Pedraza so much better than Jamel Herring? I just went down his resume. I don't understand. J.A. Dixon, you got to explain how Pedraza to me is so much better than Jamel Herring. Lost. I mean, I'm lost. Now, Jamel Herring, I think he got an Ito on his record, and he fought Carl Frampton, right? Now, both of them resume is similar. If I pull up Jamel Herring resume and I pull up Pedraza resume, what did Pedraza do that was so special? You know what I'm saying? What did Pedraza do?
Knockout say he want the link.
Yeah. I thought he fought. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I know he fought. I know he fought Vasil Lomachenko. It didn't. I didn't see it on there though. That's why I was like, didn't he fight Vasil Lomachenko?
Yep, and got destroyed.
Yeah, and Lomachenko beat. Yeah. Okay, I missed it. It was up more. He fought Vasil Lomachenko after. Yeah. I knew he had fought Vasil Lomachenko because Vasil Lomachenko beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, he destroyed him.
Yeah, beat him easy. And so, like I'm saying, J.A., you gotta let me know where Pedraza is so much better than Jamel Herring. I'm not sitting here telling you that Jamel Herring's a fucking world beater, but Pedraza ain't neither. If that was, you know what I'm saying, if that was y'all answer, when I asked what killers have Tank Davis fought, and you said Pedraza, bro. So is Jose Zepeda a killer? Because he beat Pedraza ass pretty easy. He beat Pedraza ass pretty easy. Knockout. I just shot you the link, knockout. Okay. He beat Pedraza ass pretty easy. So is Jose Zepeda a killer? I like Jose Zepeda, but I mean, is he a killer like that? Because he beat Pedraza easy. Pedraza ain't getting over the hump against Jose Zepedas and fighters like that. Coach, what's happening, Coach?
What's happening, bro? Hey, Knockout say he want a link.
I sent Knockout the link already.
Yeah, come on here, Knockout, talking that foolishness. Talking about Shakur beat Tank easy. It'll be easy work for him. Right. First of all, he too short for Shakur. Shakur range his skills is way better than Tank's. They sit here, people, I don't understand. They just saw Tank get hit a lot in this last fight against a midget. But you're gonna sit here and think that he gonna beat Shakur Stevenson? Man, come on, man. Y'all gotta be tripping, bro. There's levels to this shit. Don't get me wrong. Tank's a great fighter and he got good skills, but there's levels to this shit. There's levels. He's on the top level, but he ain't on the top level. He's not special. He got special power for his size, but as far as his skill level compared to Shakur Stevenson, it's no comparison.
I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I'm gonna say this, Coach. if Shakur Stevenson gets in there with a Leo Santa Cruz, Shakur Stevenson beats Leo Santa Cruz. If they fight 15 rounds, he beating them 15 rounds.
Period.
Leo Santa Cruz can't fucking come close to winning not nan round against a Shakur Stevenson.
Tank the lost rounds before. I don't think Shakur's Tank the lost rounds before. I don't even think Shakur lost a round yet, bro.
All right. If Shakur Stevenson get in there, right, with a Mario Barrios, Shakur could have went up to 140 and fight Mario Barrios, and he would have watched him, would have beat him every round. Mario Barrios would have been fucking hitting air.
Bro, that dude makes subtle movements. Like Shakur don't make gigantic movements where he move around the ring, like you saw in Tank last fight against Pitbull Cruz. Tank would move around the ring. You never see Shakur have to do that. He makes subtle movements. He's left-handed. He keeps his ability to keep range and keep distance where he's comfortable is incredible. Like he's a special fighter. That dude is special. That dude is not a normal good fighter. That dude is special, bro. That dude, he's on another. He's special. He's God gifted, bro. That shit that you can't teach. Like it's just his IQ is really, really, really high.
See, and Ricardo Johnson, with all due respect, I know that you don't know shit about boxing. If you come in here and you say that Tank knocks out everybody from 130 to 140, you don't know shit about boxing. Like you just amazed because you see knockouts.
So you think Tank can be? So let me ask this clown something. So you think Tank can be fucking Josh Taylor or Regis Prograis?
He'll tell you he knocks out. He told you he knocked out everybody from 130 to 140.
See, that's fanboy shit. That's fanboy shit.
A lot of these.
I'm no fanboy, but I think those are 50-50 fights. Those are close fights.
Regis Prograis and against Josh Taylor, knockout. You ought to know better than that.
I believe those are close fights, bro.
Not close.
Bro, it ain't even close, bro. That's not even close. Regis was Tank, bro, and Josh Taylor will beat Tank up, bro. Straight up. I'm being real, bro. You can't just because Tank's a good fighter, but we haven't seen Tank fight elite fighters yet, bro.
Let me get this.
We haven't seen. Go ahead, my bad, Keith. Do your thing, bro.
My man Zenith 360. What's happening with it? Salute. He says Heron was accused of quitting fights before Frampton, and Leo Santa Cruz beat Frampton. So if you're basing it off of him, Tank resume better off that alone, and Pedraza never came close to quitting. Okay, let me tell you once again. Let me tell you once again. J.A. Dixon made a case that Pedraza was a much better opponent, right, than motherfucking Jamel Herring. I just went down what Pedraza has done in his career. Neither one of them, I'm not sitting here telling you that Jamel Herring is a world beater. I'm telling you that ain't neither one of them spectacular. So don't come up here and try to act like Pedraza was spectacular. I just went up his resume of everything he had done leading up to the Gervonta Tank Davis fight, and he hadn't done shit. He had won a vacant title, right? He hadn't done nothing.
I think we should move on. From the resume talk. Here's why, though, because you did make the point, Key. You did say Shakur Stevenson washes everybody on Tank Davis's resume. Well, Tank Davis beat the shit out of everybody on Shakur resume too. So let's move on from the resume shit.
Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the eye test.
What you think Tank Davis would do to? What you think Tank Davis would do to Jamel Herring? Like, come on, bro.
No, we're gonna move on and we're gonna talk about them two.
Okay, let's do that. The resume shit, they both beat the shit out of everybody on each other resume.
And I agree. I made that. I said that because J.A. Dixon made that point. I didn't bring that up. I ain't bring that up. J.A. Dixon made that point, so I had to make. You know what I'm saying? Like let's pull up Pedraza's resume because he ain't. You know what I'm saying? He ain't all that. He ain't really did all of that.
Shakur beat the shit out of Pedraza. Tank will beat the shit out of Jamel Herring. Let's talk about why we disagree on who will win the fight between them two. Because that shit, they're like, you know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Knockout. I'm gonna let you
give me your point, Knockout.
So my only thing is this: when I look at their skills, I think Shakur Stevenson is better from a distance. I think Shakur Stevenson is better defensively. But at the same time, Tank ain't never fought nobody like Shakur. But will Shakur be as good defensively with somebody as explosive, somebody as fast, somebody who's not as skilled, but the skills are on par? Like Tank Davis ain't just no power punching. Like I think I heard Chavez. He ain't one of these, power punching Mexicans that we talking about. He's a highly skilled fighter that can counter punch in his own right. That can really get to you, and he has great hand speed as well. So to act like Shakur Stevenson just gonna be able to stay away from Tank Davis for 12 rounds, I see that highly unlikely. Like if you're looking at this fight, Shakur Stevenson got to be perfect to win that fight, bro. He got to be perfect. He can't go through there and have any laws, because if he get caught, I mean, we act like the fight can't change. So.
Well, okay. What would you base it on him going in there and catching Shakur?
No, when I got two fighters and they both highly skilled, and I know they both can touch each other, and they both are elusive. I got to go with the guy who hit harder, bro.
Okay.
Okay. What skills does he have that's better than? I want to know what's besides his punching power. What skills, when you look at both fighters, what skills do you say? Yeah, Tank Davis got better skills than Shakur in that area.
I like Tank Davis better on the inside. I like Shakur Stevenson better from mid-range and better from long distance.
Okay.
So you're telling me that you like Gervonta Tank Davis inside fight game better than Shakur Stevenson's?
Yes.
You tripping.
Okay.
Knockout. You
okay,
tripping.
Okay, hold on, Keon.
I mean, I was tripping with Usyk over AJ too. Like sometimes I trip.
Had nothing to do with Usyk over AJ,
bro.
I'm saying I know what I'm looking at.
Apples to oranges.
Hold on. I want to say this. Okay, so you say that he's a better inside fighter than he is.
In my opinion, yes.
Okay. Now, when you get inside, you get tangled up. If Shakur, we know Shakur's IQ is very high. So you know what? Lock him up. Now what you got? Go ahead. What you got after that? Because at this Tank don't have.
Hold on. Tank Davis is very stocky. He's very strong. You think he's just gonna accept clinches like that, coach? He ain't just gonna go in there and let somebody grab him, bro.
But you're talking about a very high skilled boxer. Now I'm talking about special, not just
Tank Davis not special, dude. He got some shit that they just teaching somewhere. Like, is he not special? Am I tripping? Like, does he have some shit that can be taught?
I'm gonna tell you why he's not special. I'm gonna tell you why. He's got great punching power. He has a good ring IQ. But if you look at the last fight, he did not make adjustments well against fucking Pitbull Cruz. He did not make it.
He didn't hurt his hand. He didn't hurt his hand midway through.
Wait, that happened in the 6th round. What about 1 through 6?
He always starts slow. Show me a fight. He start fast. He starts slow, and when he started turning up on Isak Pitbull Cruz. Then he hurt his hand, and he had to box his way to victory. But in that 6th round, go rewatch the 6th round. He started turning up on him, coach. He started turning up on him.
He was missed, dude. If they fight right now, if Pitbull Cruz and Tank Davis fight, it's gonna go the distance again. I promise you, it will.
No, it's not.
Okay, we'll see. They're gonna make that fight again because
I hope we don't get that fight. I need Tank versus Loma.
I don't want the fight either. But what I'm saying is this.
I think he was stopping in the rematch, though.
Suppose this. How you gonna get close to fucking somebody like Shakur Stevenson? He don't act like he don't have respectable punching power, because he do. Now,
I didn't say that, but what I'm saying is Tank Davis is. Oh, my bad, coach. I ain't mean to cut you off. Do you think?
So he got respectable punching power. First of all, you're talking about a guy with great fucking legs, great ring IQ, great distance control. You can't get in close to him, right? So how is Tank gonna get through that when you can't get close to him to throw your punches? You shorter than him. You smaller than him. He's a fucking highly skilled, special elite fighter. You're not gonna get up on him like you do the rest of these guys. It's not gonna happen, bro. Shakur's gonna keep cracking him with that fucking jab. They both left-handed, so it's even now. It ain't like
we see the same thing differently, because I hear your point. Like, yo, Tank Davis, he can't get off on Shakur. He can't do the shit to Shakur because Shakur is special. Shakur is this, he shows that. Well, I'm saying the same thing about Tank Davis, coach. The way that Shakur look against Jamel Herring, the way that Shakur look against Joet Gonzalez, he ain't gonna look like that against Tank Davis, man. It's a 50-50 fight to me where I'm favoring Tank. I ain't saying he gonna wash Shakur. I think it's a close fight, though.
I don't think
that's all I'm saying. Real quick, y'all.
My bad.
Let me get the super chats in. Mr. Steal Your Chin say Shakur said his toughest fight in the future is against Tank. That's on video, so I'm pretty sure power isn't the only thing Shakur worried about. Well,
that's not what he said. That's not what he said.
They cool with each other. So I mean, you know,
and that's not what he said though, Keon. He said his toughest fight is gonna be Devin. That's gonna be his toughest fight because it's gonna be a chess match. That's what he said.
J.A. Dixon says, I'm still, and salute to Mr. Steal Your Chin in the super chat. Appreciate you. J.A. Dixon said, I'm still waiting to hear the name, I'm still waiting to hear you name the killer Shakur fought. I never said that. Did anybody say that? Did anybody hear me say that Shakur was fighting killers? I never said.
The only thing I heard you say was that Shakur watched everybody on Tank resume, and then we all agreed that Tank watched everybody on Shakur resume, and then we moved on. That's what I remember.
J.A. So I don't know where you going because you still ain't told me what killers Tank Davis got on his resume.
Not none.
So
that's why
he ain't got no kill. That's why we criticize him.
That's why I
don't know where we going at with that.
Got 20-something fights. How many fights Tank got now? What? 20 what?
28.
Got 28 fights, and you ain't fought an elite fighter yet.
Let me double check though. It's 20. It's between 26 and 20. I don't know off the top.
I got this shit right here. Now I want you to ask me this. He got 26 fights.
26,
right?
yeah, 26. Yeah.
Now let's go over his opponents, and we're not even gonna go through his whole. We're gonna go from 2016. Guillermo Gudanez, Mario Antonio Macias, Jose Pedraza, Liam Walsh, Francisco Fonseca, Julio Andres Jesus Cellular, right? Hugo Ruiz, Ricardo Nunez, Gamboa, Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, Isai Cruz. Which one of them fighters on there can actually box?
And he couldn't stop. He stopped at doing the 12th round, who you could clearly see his fucking didn't have a heel attached.
I just want to know which one I just named all them fighters. What do they all have in common? Besides
they come forward fighters for the most part. Gamboa got boxing skills, but he was hurt. Hold
on. Besides Pedraza, right? They're all fighters that stand there right in front of the target. All of them. They all are the same style fighter. Gamboa was old. Gamboa was damn near 40 years old, washed up. And how does Gamboa fight?
And he right there in front of you. Forgetting about his Achilles tendon.
Yeah. And he had I'm not even gonna talk about the injury he had. I'm saying besides that, how does Gamboa fight?
But fellas, if we do that, I mean, what's Nakatila and Toka Khan Clary and Felix Carvalho?
Just answer the question. That's all I'm asking you.
What's your question?
How does Gamboa fight?
Gamboa fights? He'll stand in front of you. He like to trade with you. He'll throw in between your shots. He there to be hit.
Yeah, he's right there. So I'm saying all of those fighters are the same stylistically. They fight the same, right? So my question is, if Gervonta Tank Davis, right? And he got boxing skills. He do have boxing skills. But if his skills are on par, he has his skill set is neck and neck or better than Shakur Stevenson. That's what a lot of y'all saying, right? Yeah. His skill set is better than Shakur Stevenson. Plus, he got devastating knockout power like Mike Tyson. To me, that's a fighter that's unbeatable. You got knockout power like Mike Tyson, and you got a better skill. Hold on. And you have a better skill set than Shakur Stevenson. Now, if that is the case, why are they putting him in the ring with the same type of opponents over and over again? Why haven't they put him in the ring with somebody that has an overall skill set, an all-around skill set? They put him in the ring with the same type of opponent over and over again. Why is that?
Because, to answer your question, because Floyd Mayweather, Leonard Ellaby are more concerned with lining their pockets than taking a risk with Gervonta Tank Davis. They're more concerned in the sure thing. So I'm going to take this fight where I know for a fact he going to knock somebody out. It's gonna sell, and I'm trying to make money. Thank goodness for us as boxing fans that they're in a position where the Isak Pitbull Cruz fight didn't sell. It didn't do good. So now, as a result, hopefully, we will start getting the fights that we want, so we can justify that skill set. But the overall point, when we keep going back to resume, like, let's not act like Nakathila and Toka Khan Clary and Felix Caraballo and Joet Gonzalez or some high-skilled, high-level boxers that Shakur Stevenson box circles around. His best win is Jamel Herring, and we can all agree Gervonta Tank Davis.
Around everybody he been in there with. Box circles around everybody he been in there with.
But so they're not. But
we are going to act like
are we saying Tank Davis? But you're giving him credit against subpar competition, but shit, no, Tank Davis with subpar competition. No, they both ain't fought the best, bro.
Okay, I got a question.
Okay, you're right. But who is trying to fight the best? Who's trying to fight who been trying to fight the best?
Shakur Stevenson trying to fight the best right now.
Okay, so we can't shit on him and talk about, oh, he ain't fought the best when he been trying to fight the best from 126 all the way to where he at right now to at 130, right?
But we can't shit on Tank either if we know he ain't in control of his career, bro.
No, we're not gonna use that excuse, right?
It's a fact. It's not an excuse. There's a difference.
Use that excuse, and I'm gonna tell you why we're not gonna use that excuse. But let me say this real quick. Let me say this, and then I'm gonna let you cook, right? Shakur Stevenson only has 17 fights, right? He only has 17 fights. Ever since he's had probably like what 10 fights, he been asking for the top opponents, right? He been chasing the top dudes. He been wanting all the top dudes from 126 to 130. You know, besides the only one I ain't really heard him call out like that is Gary Russell. Other than that, he didn't call out all of them, right? None of them will fight him. Remember, he was trying to get what's his name to fight him over there. That lost to Laura. What's the dude? Warrington. He was chasing Josh Warrington. He was chasing Oscar Valdez. None of them dudes will fight him. None of them. He went up to 130, chasing all of them. Now he finna get his big chance. He only got 17 fights, right? Gervonta Tank Davis, when Shakur Stevenson, when he was barely even a professional, Gervonta Tank Davis already had won his first title. That is a fact. So we can't compare them talking about, oh, well, you know, why you stop acting like he's fought these killers. He been trying to fight all of them. On the other hand, we want to blame, Big Nose, Leonard Ellaby, and Floyd. Okay, cool. But what does Gervonta Tank Davis say when he gets a microphone in his face and they say, well, what about Devin Haney?
I fight anybody they put in front of me. That's his.
Hold on. No.
Just go look at his interview that he just did on Brian Custer's podcast, bro.
Let me finish. Let me finish real quick, and I'm gonna let you cook. Right? What does he say when they ask him about Devin Haney? When they ask him about Gary Russell? When they ask him about all of the top fighters, right, that had been calling him out? Devin Haney's a clout chaser. Gary Russell, he can't sell out nothing. Don't nobody know who Gary Russell is. Vasil Lomachenko, he you know what I'm saying? He needs me, you know. We can wait. He getting older, you know what I'm saying? We can age him out. We can wait and age him out. He needs me right now. You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing nothing but get older. That's what he said. Type of shit that Tank Davis was saying. So the difference is Shakur Stevenson got smoked for all of these niggas, right? He calling out all of them. Tank Davis has an excuse why they shouldn't get in the ring with him. Because I could pull up the receipts and tell you what Tank Davis said when he's asked about Devin Haney, when he's asked about Gary Russell, when he's asked about Vasil Lomachenko. This is a fact. Whether y'all want to hear the shit or not, it's a fact. And I'm gonna read this super chat real quick, JA, and then I'm gonna let y'all cook. First thing I said, if JA back in that super chat, he said the first thing I said was I ain't like Shakur. He said it ain't like Shakur been in there with killers. He said because you said that about Tank and you went and then you went left. No, I'm saying that about both of them. You know what I'm saying? But one of them is trying to fight all the killers, and one of them don't look like he is. Salute to Ricky Williams in the building.
Salute, Ricky. Salute to you, brother. Go ahead, Coach.
He did box circles around Nakateria because he won every round. Nakateria did.
My question to you is this.
And one more. Let me get Zenith his super chat. He says Leo has a better jab than anyone Shakur fought.
Well, Leo get fucked up by Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to have that conversation. Like Shakur beat the shit out of Leo Santa Cruz.
My question is this: we done seen Shakur swell in fights, right? We done seen him get China ball eye. We done seen that.
Tank. You talking about Tank, right?
We done seen Tank get China ball eye. We done seen him get swole. That's how that fight gonna end, right there. That's how it's gonna end with Shakur, because Shakur is a very accurate puncher. He don't take punches. He's very super accurate, and Tank gonna swell up and lose the fight. That's what's gonna happen. I guarantee it, because he's gonna keep on. And not only that. Look at this. They both done had subpar competition, right? Tank got more fights than him.
Mm-hmm.
How many rounds Tank done lost compared to Shakur?
I don't know. I don't think Shakur maybe lost a round in his. I mean, he's the more pure boxer. He lost maybe a round in his whole career. I don't know. I can't name a round Shakur lost recently. I didn't give Herring any rounds. You know what I'm saying? I didn't give who he fight before Herring. I damn sure didn't give Nakathila a round. He beat the shit out of Toka Khan Clary. So I'll just go back his last 3 fights because I don't want to do his whole resume. I got Shakur going 12-0 in all of those fights, but that's not the conversation I'm trying to have. Like, and I agree with everything that Keith said about wanting to smoke. Like, I love Shakur's attitude. That ain't the conversation that I'm trying to have with you, good brothers. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about in the ring, what would happen. Do I want Tank to have a better attitude and call for the smoke? Yes, but when you state a fact, that's not an excuse. And the fact of the matter is, they've been moving him a certain way. And as I said earlier, I'm on par with y'all. Hopefully, this shit with Isak Pitbull Cruz will get us in the position where we start getting to see the fights we want from Tank Davis. As far as these two brothers in the ring, though, the reason I'm saying I'm edging Tank is because all that stuff that y'all mentioning against Shakur and using as a way to kind of down Tank, well, Tank look like this or Shakur can do this. Everything is true for both fighters. That's why we need to see the fight. Like, just like Shakur is so accurate, he shows such great ring IQ. He has such great defense. Does that shit translate when he get in front of somebody like Tank Davis? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. Y'all are saying yes. I'm saying I'm not so sure, bro. I'm not so sure. So that's what the disconnect is, bro.
It's a good point you're making, but you see the eye test and knowing boxing like I done seen, it just is. Tank Davis is too small for Shakur. He's too short for Shakur. It's not going to work out well for him because he's not going to be able to get in where he needs to be to make the fight. And the thing is, you had people who couldn't keep Tank off of him. But then now you saw a guy who come forward. Tank had to box. Tank had to move because Isak Cruz was strong. So he had to deal with that. And he didn't make adjustments like I thought he would in that fight. He made some, but he didn't make the adjustments that a person that's supposed to be at that caliber, it's easy to say that a fighter he's such a great fighter when you knocking out people that you're supposed to knock out. See what I'm saying? Like Leo Santa Cruz is not a 130-pound fighter. He's
the only part that I would cause contention to, coach, and the only part that I would somewhat disagree with is just like what you're seeing in the ring. And I know Keith know what he's seeing in the ring. We all do, bro. Like I really respect y'all boxing knowledge, but what I'm refusing to do is say I'm not gonna sit up and act like Tank Davis didn't have one hand halfway through that fight. Now, shit, that don't mean nothing. He did what he did. The performance is the performance. But I believe 2 hands the whole fight. At some point in that fight, looked like he was gonna start getting the Isak Pitbull Cruz. Do I want to see a rematch? Hell no, I don't want to see a rematch because I think there are bigger and better fights for him. But what I'm maintaining.
Tank got hit hard in that fight too. So, Tank got hit hard a few times in that fight.
And he ate them. And I'm saying he ate them. He eat Shakur shit.
You never see.
Did he not lose some rounds in the Leo?
Can I say something? Can I get
You're not going to take shots like that. You're not gonna.
I mean, but Key, like we used to do this. We used to do this same. It's like we picking and choosing arguments, though, fellas. And what I'm saying when I say we picking and choosing arguments, we used to say this shit when people would come at Deontay Wilder about how he lose rounds and shit. What would we say? Oh man, that shit don't matter what happened. He knocked him out. Now all of a sudden we want to use that shit against Tank when we argue on the other side. We can't do that shit, bro.
Why we would say that though? Deontay Wilder wasn't fighting no motherfucker like Shakur Stevenson. A heavyweight Shakur Stevenson would destroy the fucking heavyweight division. You're not talking about.
Can I say something?
We can't say, hey, this fighter don't win rounds and he knocking everybody out. But then on one hand, when we want to argue for another fighter, we say, well, shit, it don't matter. He knocking everybody out. Like it can't. We gotta be consistent with this.
Let me get this super chat. Let me get Zenith's super chat in real quick, y'all. And then I'm gonna let Batman join in on this. My man Zenith 360. He said, if the topic is how they styles match up in the ring, it don't matter if they tried to fight the best or not for this topic. It's based on who they fought so far. He said attitudes and career choices irrelevant. Well, I think that if they got in the ring according to their styles, that Shakur Stevenson will beat Gervonta Tank Davis, and I don't think it'll be as difficult as a lot of y'all think so. But that's just my opinion. But I'm gonna let Batman get on it. Y'all give me a minute because I got this. I got some smoking on my grill. I need to go check out.
But yeah, don't burn this shit up, bro. Go do your thing. Go ahead, Batman. My bad.
I was gonna say that, though, when top level fighters get in there, man, you know, we can talk all this shit. Shakur is not gonna do all that shit he be doing to them bum ass niggas he be fighting. When he get in there with a top level opponent, he is gonna get hit. All that lose around. When he get in there with a top class, top A, skillful fighter like him, he's not gonna look like that. He looked like that against bums, yes. Motherfucking even in the Jameer Hearn fight, he knew he was gonna beat the shit out of Jameer Hearn. He was beating Jameer Hearn every time they had a fucking a camp. So, man, look,
Tank ain't gonna look, but you gotta put it on the other foot too. Tank ain't gonna look like he.
That's what I'm saying. Tank ain't gonna look like Tank gonna get hit. Tank gonna get hit too. He been fighting all bums too. You know what I'm saying? So, Tank gonna get hit because that's his style anyway. When he fight he's going to try to. It's going to be a boxing match where Tank gotta be the stalker, because Shakur not gonna sit there with him. So he gonna get hit regardless. But all this about which kind, I've seen that kid before in the gym. He's when it's A-level competition, he's not what y'all see when he with them bum ass niggas. I mean, my fault, them bum ass fighters. I done seen him in there with A-level competition, and he don't look that good. He look good against subpar. He all that subtle movement against motherfuckers that don't know what to do with that shit. He looks spectacular. He ain't lose a fucking round. But y'all talking about, he was talking about he was trying to fight. He wasn't trying to fight everybody. I mean, that's just a lie. Because when he was at 126, when Oscar Valdez moved up and he fought Joey whatever the fuck his name, Joey Gazette, whatever the fuck his name is, he was trying to fight Leo Santa Cruz and Josh Warrington. What about the other champion? That man, look, man, that shit be a bluff, man. All them guys be a bluff. I just want to see everybody fight everybody for we can stop talking about this shit.
I think we all agree with that shit for a fact.
So, Batman, who you think win, him or Tank?
I mean, it'll be a good fight, but if whoever come in there with the best game plan, whoever game plan is the best, that's who's going to win. If the game plan don't work, whoever can work on the fly, that's who's going to win. But you know,
who you think got the best IQ out of it? Honestly,
the best IQ. From outside, Shakur. From inside, I get the Tank.
I don't know, bro. I mean, whose IQ is really tested more? The shorter fighter who always has to get inside because he's shorter than everybody he fight except Eastside Pitbull Cruz, or the guy that's been longer than everybody he's ever fighting. All he got to do is fight from a distance every time until he fought knockout.
Like I said, from
but you got to get in position to fight from distance, knockout.
Yeah, from
because the shorter fighter or the taller fighter always starts off. They start off in different corners, right? So the taller fighter always is from a distance to start the fight, whereas the shorter fighter always has to find a way inside. So to me, ring IQ, I don't know who has the higher, but I say Tanks is tested on more of a consistent basis because he always has to try to get inside. Because 9 times out of 10, he's shorter than everybody that he's ever fought, except Eastside Pitbull Cruz.
But like I said, from
reach advantage, and he's always had the height advantage.
From my outside, from his height advantage, mostly everybody's scared of Tank when he get in the ring, so that should be non and void. Half the time when he is there with somebody, he get right where he need to get to, and he stay right there. But on both sides, outside, Shakur got the better IQ. From the inside, you seen it. Tank got the better IQ from it because Shakur don't even like being right there half of the time. So
it's simple to me. If the fight is fought on the inside, I got Tank winning. If it's at mid range, it's 50-50. At long range, I'd have Shakur winning the fight. And the reason I'm telling y'all I think Tank will win the fight because I think he'll find a way to break that distance. Just to give it to y'all in a nutshell as to what I'm thinking and why I think it, bro.
Yeah, but we just gotta see the fight.
I don't think he'll be able to get on the inside. That's my thing. I don't think he'll be able to get there and stay.
And you got a sound explanation as to why. I think what happens is though we all agree that we like if they drop everything and that's the fight that we get, everybody be smiling like a kid in the candy store.
Yeah.
I think we'd be happy as hell.
No doubt about it. We'd be happy as a
coach be hitting me up trying to bet me shit.
I never saw a fighter stay on the outside for a fucking 12-round fight. Never. I've never seen a fighter unless they fighting somebody. No, unless they fighting somebody that don't have real skills. Go to heavyweight. Go to Ali.
Then, coach, this another thing. This another thing that worried me, y'all. Shakur looked like he don't like to get hit. I didn't like how he looked in that Nakatila fight.
Nah, and I know like to get hit.
I know Tank got a beard on him.
I mean, but
I'm saying Tank will come in there like a dog and be like, you know what, bro? Like, if I feel you can't hurt me, you know what's popping. I'm coming at you full steam ahead because you ain't got shit for me. I ain't seen that in Shakur yet. So I don't know. I don't know, man.
In that fight before the Hearn fight, when that boy hit him, Shakur stayed the fuck away from him and made it a boring fight. But that boy ain't know how to close.
They like to get punched in the face, and that's not the art of boxing. Is to hit and not get hit.
But that's not the art of boxing. The art of boxing is on both levels. You can slip and touch in the inside. You can block punches. But when on that occasion, Shakur don't like that shit unless the opponent is he know he can really take the punch and dominate the opponent. But it is what it is.
Hey, they got motherfuckers that punch hard. I ain't gonna sit there and nigga crack me again. That don't make no fucking sense. Fuck no.
But what I'm telling you, coaches, this is what I'm telling. He ain't gonna have no choice against Gervonta Tank Davis. He gonna have to sit there and he gonna get hit.
That's what I hope.
Some point in the fight.
Hey, I got my daughter here. She like, you better ride for Tank.
I just hope I get to see that fight.
But
I agree, bro. I agree. I tell you one fight I'm happy to see. I hope Shakur Stevenson beat the dumb shit out of Oscar Valdez. I hope. I don't usually say this, but I'm openly rooting for Shakur Stevenson to beat the hell out of Oscar Valdez cheating ass.
And Shakur he's growing into his man strength now. You can see it. You can see that he's getting his man strength now. You can see it. You can see it in the last fight. Because that motherfucker was hitting Heron with some hard shit. You can see that he's starting to mature even more.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for Devin at some point.
You kind of going in and out, Coach. Can you hear him good, Batman?
Nah, you going in and out, Coach.
Coach, you going in and out. Key, you ain't burn the shit, did you, Key?
Nah, my shit on point, bro.
Okay, what you cooking,
I
bro?
know this because I'm listening to y'all cook right on my phone. I want to know this. Why are y'all sitting here acting like that Shakur Stevenson only has an outside game? Like he don't fucking fight superb mid-range and on the inside. Y'all sit here acting like Shakur Stevenson got to stay on the outside.
He look great.
Hold on.
My bad. You just came back.
You said, Batman.
Come on, man.
I heard what you said, Batman. You talking about he can't run around for no 12 rounds and stay on the outside. Bro, Shakur can fight his ass off on the inside in mid-range.
Shakur don't move around like that anyway. He don't dance around.
Move around like that. Why y'all trying to act like he just stay on the outside and be trying to pop shot?
Dog, he stay on the outside and do the same shit Floyd did with that pop shot shit. And then when he got his man, where he won his man, that's when he go to the inside. I never in my life seen Shakur Stevenson just stay on the inside with anybody or just go straight to the inside and try to fight.
That ain't his style. He ain't gonna do that.
He's gonna fight. He fights well on the inside. He fight at mid-range and he fight on the outside.
No, what Batman's saying is he break you down first.
Shakur Stevenson's best inside performance. His best inside performance was against Felix Caraballo, the same Felix Caraballo that just got knocked out by prospect Raymond Ford. Like, again, who you do it against matters. Will he look that good on the inside against Gervonta Tank Davis? Like,
check this out. Then people like, oh, if he get so y'all just saying that, oh, soon as Gervonta Tank Davis hit him, Shakur Stevenson just gonna go to sleep.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this, bro. Go ahead, Batman. I don't want to cut you off.
My breakdown was he is good. If he said who got the better IQ, I said Shakur got the better IQ from the outside, and they get in the inside. Tank got a better IQ. It's shown. It's proven.
And what I was saying about that point, not that he stops him automatically, but and I know you saw this too, Keith. I saw Shakur once he felt Nakathila, he showed me that he don't like to get hit, bro. And I know Tank is willing to take the shot.
Bro,
so that mentality, bro, that kind of I don't like that shit. Because you ain't gonna be able to.
But we've seen Tank get touched up in a couple of them rounds by Gamboa.
Bro, and that's not the point I'm making. That's not the point. That's not the point of what I'm saying is when Tank. The point I'm making is when Tank get hit. When Tank get hit, bro, he'll take that shit. He'll eat that shit. He'll keep going.
Right. When I saw Shakur get hit, fighter. Wait, hold on. You keep bringing up one fighter that you saying, oh, Shakur felt his power and he didn't want to get hit. Well, that's just common sense. But why are we not bringing up all of the opponents that we seen Gervonta Tank Davis struggle against at times during the fight?
I mean, he struggled with Leo Santa Cruz. He struggled with what the fuck is it? Mario Barrios a little bit.
He struggled he had some rounds where he struggled in the Gamboa fight.
I can't say he struggled in the Gamboa fight because Gamboa had fast hands. He can match his
happened with them hands from Shakur. Fuck.
And
I'm trying to figure out what the definition of struggle is. I don't know, bro.
I'm saying he was getting touched up in a couple of them rounds in the Gamboa fight. He was getting touched up.
Gamboa was touching him. Gamboa was having a hell of a fight in the mid rounds. But this, I agree with what Knockout was saying. with the Pitbull Cruz fight, he would have stopped Pitbull Cruz if he would never fucking hurt his hand. You saw it. He was starting to do it.
I thought he would have too. I thought he would have. Well, I can't say that he was gonna stop Pitbull because we never seen him hurt Pitbull. But it's a possibility. But I just can't put that jacket on Pitbull and say that he was gonna lay down and get stopped because we never seen him even get hurt.
I'm still stuck on. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. I'm still stuck on the struggle word. Like I don't understand how we talking about people struggling when they knock people down multiple times. I don't understand how we talking about people struggling.
It was at times in that fight where he was getting touched up by Gamboa.
That's his style, though, bro. He always been the type to take a punch to give a punch. Ain't nobody saying Shakur ain't gonna hit him. He gonna get hit, but Shakur's gonna get hit.
So your excuse for Gervonta Tank Davis is, he could get beat up, but that's just how he, you know what I'm saying? He get touched up. He can get his eye bruised up, but that's just how he fight. That ain't an excuse, bro.
He gonna get.
I'm not making an excuse. What I'm saying is he'll get touched sometimes to fill you out and get his shit off, but he also can be elusive when he wants to. We acting like he's just not versatile or something. Like I'm not understanding what.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. He's versatile. I'm not saying he's not versatile. But what I am saying is, fight another elite fighter like Shakur Stevenson, who I think, in my personal opinion, this is just my opinion, I think he is God gifted. That's what I think. I think he's a God gifted fighter, and he does just like Floyd do. Floyd start off the rounds, he break you down, then you would hear Roger go, okay, now start walking to him. That's when he gonna put that shoulder up and gonna start walking to you and beat your ass. That's how Shakur Stevenson fight. Same exact.
Maybe y'all are right, bro. Maybe Tank Davis will beat Shakur Stevenson, Diego Corrales or some shit. Maybe y'all are right, but I'm not willing to start saying he do this like Floyd or he do that like Floyd. When I ain't seen.
I'm not talking about knockout. Listen, I'm not talking about he has the same style as Floyd. Because
no, I'm talking about skills. You said God gifted. I'm talking about like that he's that gifted. I'm not ready to go there until I see him fight somebody like Tank.
Okay. So
like I said, that's just my opinion. I believe that he's a God gifted fighter. I think that he's one of the best fighters as far as seeing punches. He sees shit before. His reaction time is incredible to me.
Yeah, that's against bum ass fighters, coach.
Okay.
That's against non-gifted fighters.
Hold on, Batman. Since you got, because I know Batman, you got something against Shakur because you always shitting on him.
I don't have nothing against him.
Hold on.
I don't have nothing
you always shitting on him, talking about he ain't fighting nothing but bomb ass fighters.
I mean,
now he finna fight
the only thing
Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez is a better opponent than anybody that's
Oscar Valdez is not gifted neither. Oscar Valdez is not that good neither.
So you're not gonna give him credit for beating Oscar Valdez.
I'm gonna give him credit.
That man, you got to go 3-on-1 with that one, bro.
I'm gonna give him credit, but Oscar Valdez, what specialties you seen in Oscar Valdez?
Bro, Oscar Valdez is a good fighter. He's
what specialty? What specialties you can sit here and tell me about what Oscar Valdez is?
Hold on. My point is,
he's a tough fighter that can take a punch.
My point is we sitting here, we talking about you shitting on him, talking about he ain't fought nobody, he just fighting bombs.
I'm saying that.
And he's doing this against bombs.
How am I shitting on him about state facts?
When he get in the ring with Oscar Valdez, that means that he's going to have the best opponent. Right, he gonna be fight. I mean, you can't compare nobody in the ring with Oscar Valdez that Tank been in the ring with.
Oh no!
But for real,
Tank been in the ring with that's better than Oscar Valdez.
For real, I got Jamel Herring beat Oscar Valdez.
Man, Jamel Herring wouldn't finna beat no Oscar Valdez.
Man, he'd have beat Oscar Valdez, man.
Listen, with what I just saw Robson Castillo do to Oscar. With what I just saw, Robson Castillo,
he just got beat by a fighter. He just got beat by a fighter y'all didn't even know about.
So basically, you not trying to give Shakur Stevenson credit for fighting Oscar Valdez.
I'll give him credit for fighting Oscar Valdez, but the motherfuckers he just fought, Joey Gonzalez and them, fuck no.
Well, he'll
say,
beat Gary
they
Russell.
keep on saying he's that
Stevenson
great.
beat Gary. Hey, I got Shakur Stevenson beating Gary Russell, Batman.
Why the fuck he ducking
Oh
then?
shit.
Why?
I got Shakur Stevenson beating Gary
Why
Russell.
Shakur Stevenson? You got him doing that, but why Shakur Stevenson? He was the only name Shakur Stevenson never said at 126.
Coach, who you got, Shakur or Gary?
I'm asking. Why did Shakur Stevenson never say Gary's name at 126? Because he knows.
Shakur Stevenson
I
beat Gary
know.
Russell.
He said why. He said that because he liked Gary and that's like his big brother. That's why he liked him. That's why he said that.
And I'm gonna tell you why he said that, because when he come to our gym, he was getting that foot put in his ass. What are you talking about?
But that was a kid.
I'll tell you what he said, man.
He was 20-something.
Gary Russell right now.
Dog, he
will whoop Gary Russell.
Dog, he was a pro athlete. Every time Gary's name came up,
he was a kid. He's a grown man, Batman. He'll whoop Gary Russell.
You say what?
He was a kid then. Now he a grown ass man.
So why he ain't trying? So why him and his handler stayed away from Gary Russell when he became champion?
He's a grown man now.
All right, then. All right, you telling me? I was picking on the kid. We're gonna see.
Y'all was picking on the kid.
All right, I'm about to give y'all inside information. We're gonna see when Gary go up and take this belt from that boy, that boy Chris COVID. I want to see your man say something there. Talking about he want to be undisputed and all that shit. Cause he only gonna need what, 2 more belts.
Gary Russell arms too short.
All right, that's what you think. His whole life he been fighting people that's longer than him.
Batman, why you letting Keon get your pressure up right now? That's what I want to know.
He messing with you, bro.
Hey, I'm fucking with Batman. Batman, I'm fucking with Batman, man.
I know
he ain't got no sense, dog. You crazy as hell. Y'all smash the like button for my brother, man.
But I'm just trying to
the like button,
hey, I got Batman about to have a motherfucking heart attack. Hey,
he already looking like Grady with that beard. Y'all trying to fucking get that man a heart attack. Stop fucking with that, man.
But hey, I'm in good health, coach.
I'm fucking with Batman, man. I want him and Shakur Stevenson the 50-50 fight to me, man.
I want them to be the final piece to the puzzle, just like Arum and Terrence.
Hold up one second. Hold on 1 second. Hold up. So Gary Russell and Shakur Stevenson is a 50-50 fight, but you think Shakur Stevenson washes Tank Davis? You won't even say that's 50-50, bro.
I think that Gary Russell's and Tank Davis, if Gary Russell, if he could take Tank Davis' power, and I think he can, I think he beat Tank. I think he'll find a way to beat Javante Tank Davis. I gotta see.
Man, I hope I get to get proven. I hope I get to get proven right or wrong, man. These are all great fights. But
they're all great fights. Great fights. I just
want to see all these fights, man, happen, man.
I want to see all.
I agree with y'all, bro. I mean, that's why, great boxing minds, they can see the shit different. We got a different view, but shit, hopefully we get to see that shit, bro.
Yeah,
but I think that Tank could possibly stop both of those dudes, bro. I think especially Gary too small for him, in my opinion.
Gary ain't too small for him. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, man.
Tank only 5'5". No, Tank only is 5. He only 5'5", bro.
Listen,
I understand that. I got a hard time picking anybody that's 5'4" coming up from featherweight to beat Tank Davis, bro.
He's 5'4" now. So when he was 16, he was like 5'2", beating all these niggas that your favorite fighters was fighting, man.
Well,
hey, at 135, I got definitely
5'3". Eastside Cruz about 5'3", and I mean, we seen that fight.
You say you got Devin Haney versus everybody, coach?
Man, Devin Haney get his ass beat, coach.
You talking that bullshit. I ain't going with that.
Hey, coach. Devin
at
Haney
135, I got Devin Haney beating everybody except is a 50-50 fight at 135 plus Stevenson. That's it.
On Grace.
What?
Devin Haney getting
Man,
the
you
shit
heard
beat
what
out
he
of him.
said. You
Because
heard
every
what he
time
said,
his little
Batman.
level,
What you talking about? What? You heard what the man said.
every
I
time
got
his level go up,
confused, man.
he look. I mean, he outboxed them niggas, but when he tried to do something different, he looked fucking average.
Guess what?
And salute to
Who said he ain't? Who said he ain't gonna go the whole fucking fight, putting them fucking fast ass hands
And
and
then
keeping range, hold on, keeping range, keeping distance, and doing his thing for 12 rounds because he's definitely capable. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Gary can beat him, and that's that.
Man,
I don't.
Gary will fuck him up, man.
Gary is too short, bro.
Oh,
Gary is too short. So let me ask you this,
not
Batman.
too short, man.
He too short at 135, bro.
What is you talking about? He's shorter than everybody's fight his whole life.
Bro, you ain't, but he ain't been fighting no motherfucking motherfuckers that can box.
Don't nobody want to fight him.
Got speed like.
It's a difference when people want to fight you, coach.
I understand. You're supposed to believe in your brother. It ain't nothing wrong with that.
It's a difference when people want to fight you. I mean, when motherfuckers don't want to fight you.
My point is this, man.
If everybody was this, and try to what's call him, I say yeah. But don't none of these niggas want to fight him.
You just like Money Brown with Canelo. You think Gary
No, I'm not. Because Money Brown. Listen,
both know this. We both know this.
Money Brown ain't grow up with Canelo. Money Brown ain't grow up with Canelo. Money Brown ain't share the ring with Canelo. I did.
Okay.
I know this boy capabilities.
And guess what? And that's great. And you're supposed to ride for your grave. But my point is this, Batman. This is what I got to see. He had his opportunity to fuck Lomachenko up, right?
He was dehydrated.
I don't want. What? Hold on. Who fault is that?
What?
Who fault is that?
They played with the scale, coach.
They played with the scale. Come on, bro. Stop that shit, bro. Let's stop that, bro. We ain't gonna go with all of that.
Hey, coach, I'm a cold man. I will never lie to you. They played with the scale. What is you talking about?
Batman,
what?
If they would have not played with the scale and all of this shit you talking, Lomachenko at that time tore fucking Gary ass up. Straight up, dog.
They would never play with the scale.
Hey, fellas, let me jump in real quick and say this. Let me say this.
Journeyman, dog.
Let me say this, Batman, and then let me say this, and I'll give it back to you. Let me say salute to my brother Keith. I gotta hop off, man. Salute to Coach. Salute to Batman. Great,
all right, knockout.
Great panel, man. Great show. Y'all smash the like button for my brother. We out of here, man. Another 5 show.
And guess what? I lost money on that.
Hold on. Let me say this. Let me get this. Hey, Batman, hold on real quick. Let me get the super chat off. I'm gonna let y'all finish. My man Zenith 360, he say, how y'all think Shakur would have adjusted if he broke his hand in the 5th round against Nakatili? He says, do you think he would stay long or mid-range or pick up the pressure like Tank did at the end? Let's get this straight, all right? Let's clear something up. It's a difference between a broke hand and a hurt hand. Gervonta Tank Davis did not break his hand. He said he didn't break his hand. If you watch his interview afterwards, he was moving his hand, he was squeezing it, he was doing that in the post conference. He showed his hand, it was swollen up. He didn't break his hand. If you ever box, you know that sometimes you swell up the bone right there in your hand and you injure your hand. So let's stop saying break. Let's stop going around and saying that he broke his hand because he did not break his hand. He had a hand injury, like a bone contusion or whatever you call that, right? So his hand was not broke. He never had no cast on after he said he didn't break his hand.
No, he hurt the motherfucker.
What'd you say, Batman?
It was the tendons in his hands probably still hurting because if he broke his hand, he would have got it like 3 to 4 more rounds. He could have used it again because it would have numbed up.
Right. So let's clear that up because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, he broke." Everybody's running with that. He broke his hand. He didn't break his hand.
He hurt his hand, whereas though he couldn't use it in the fight no more though.
Right. He hurt his hand. It wasn't broke. So, but how I think that Shakur would have made the adjustment, I don't know. But he would have still found a way to win because I mean, he went and he didn't even get hit the whole fight damn near. Then that's amazing. You could go a whole 12-round fight and the motherfucker can't hit you. We ain't even giving him no credit for that.
But let me get back to Coach, man. Coach,
Batman.
Lomachenko lost to a fucking journeyman, dog.
Yep.
All right, my brother went in there. They played with the scale. They played with the unofficial scale when they brought the scale to him.
My bad, Jimmy.
It had him 5 pounds over. So he was at like 130. He was at 130 on the official scale. So the dumbass, instead of them going to check with my father, the dumbass, what you call it, the strength and the conditioning coach got the stupid ass nigga to sit in the fucking sauna. If you go look at the fight, the boy ain't had no energy, but Lomachenko couldn't stop him.
Never said he could stop him. Gary Russell, one of my favorite fighters, by the way. But when I saw that fucking fight and Gary came out, they had Vasil. What tripped me out about the whole thing, and I knew that something wasn't right, was that they had Lomachenko as the favorite in the fight with the betting. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? How come Gary Russell is not the favorite with this guy who only got 2 fucking fights? I mean,
they got
1
2 fights, 1-1. Come on, man.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this shit? And I didn't put a lot of money on it because I knew something was funny, but I put some money on it. I was like, man, something is not right. How this fucking dude, I heard about him. I saw him in the fucking, that boxing, that little super series thing that he had did before he turned the official pro. And I'm like, man, why is this fucking dude the favorite over Gary Russell? Yeah, he got 2 gold medals, but Gary is an Olympian. So that shit was like, I was like, man, something ain't right about this shit. And then when I saw the fight, I was like, man, what the fuck? This motherfucker can fight. So, and you know, hey, bro, like I said, I didn't say that, but that's just my belief. I got Devin over everybody at 135 until Shakur get there. It's a 50-50 fight. That's my opinion. That's what I believe.
Devin ain't gonna be there when Shakur get there. But let me tell you this. But if Devin go up to 140, he is not going to look the same.
Let me tell you something. If Devin gets stronger, he gonna look. If Devin stay pillow fisted right now, like he is now, then yeah, you're right. He not gonna look the same. But if he get stronger, he gonna look the same. He's gonna look the same. He gonna beat a lot of people at 140.
Man, doing that snack shit, he ain't gonna get stronger.
I ain't talking about the snacks there. I'm just saying
I'm saying keep fucking with Victor Conte and them. He ain't gonna get strong.
But just think about it like this: that boy is still 22 years old, bro.
Nah, he's 23. He's 23. He'll be 24 this year.
Yeah,
if he don't get no power
strength yet.
If he'll you get your man strength at like 23, 24.
No, baby. No.
Listen, man. Motherfuckers get the cracking at like 23, 24, man. Nah. That's when you start feeling that shit, coach.
You know, like I said, the boy's skill level is fucking high as fuck.
Man, that boy's skill level ain't that high.
Even
with Devin Haney, dog. Now let's go with Devin Haney, man. Now, see, this is what I ain't want to do, dog. I ain't really want to do this. Devin Haney was built. I mean, Bill did the right thing. He built his son up to beat his Witchcom because Devin Haney first good fight was Linares. I mean, first good name on his resume was Linares.
Okay.
Bio. Even with that, Linares just got dogged at 140 by a C+ fighter. Just got the shit beat out of him and knocked out by a C+ fighter.
Okay, now listen. I got a question for you, Bet.
Go ahead.
Well, besides Johnny Gonzalez and Vasil Lomachenko, who Gary got on his resume?
I don't know. You say what, coach? My fault.
Besides Johnny Gonzalez, who was an old ass fucking fighter, and Vasil Lomachenko, who Gary got on his resume?
He got JoJo Diaz.
Yeah, that was a good win. That was a good win. That's it. That's it.
He got Kiko Martinez. That's a champion now.
Man,
He just knocked out the nigga for the belt. So Kiko.
I'm talking about high level fighters, bro.
Johnny Gonzalez, because Johnny Gonzalez knocked don't act like Johnny Gonzalez was some shit or something.
How old was Johnny Gonzalez, bro?
He just knocked out the nigga who was the man one of the
Abner Mares.
He was the man at 126.
Abner Mares wasn't never shit to me. Never.
I mean, that was the you, but I'm saying to 126 at that time, Abner Mares was the fucking man.
How old was Johnny Gonzalez?
Like what? 30, 38, 30, 30,
There
36,
you
38.
go. You making my point. That's all I'm saying. You can't always look at people. Can't always look at who they.
He ain't just knock out the nigga in the first round that was supposed to be the man at 126.
Who was supposed to be the man at 126?
Abner Mares. He was one of the men at 126.
He was one of the motherfuckers that they pushed at 126 to be fucking.
All right, cool then.
You know it like I know it, because Gary would have beat the fucking sleeves off of Abner Mares.
I know he'd have beat the sleeves off Abner Mares. But I'm just telling you that
I know the fucking game, so I know who built up and ain't really that fucking good, and motherfuckers put them on a pedestal and ain't that fucking good. That's why I say what I say about fucking. So
let's switch it up real quick. Let's switch it up. I gotta get this in. So let's talk about this Keith Thurman Barrios, right? Now, Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios is $75. That's how much they charging everybody. They charging everybody $75
about that shit.
I'm not paying for that.
Right. So it's $75, and now they announced that it's an eliminator. Now a lot of people think it's a final. It's not a final eliminator. It's a regular eliminator. So official eliminator.
It's a WBC eliminator.
A WBC official eliminator. So what that means is the winner between Mario Barrios and Keith Thurman, they not gonna be the mandatory, right? They'll just become closer to being the mandatory. So a lot of people. So we need to get that. Let that news get out that the winner between Mario Barrios and Keith Thurman will not become Errol Spence's mandatory for the WBC title.
No, right? They'll be the number 2.
Yeah. So basically, that it is official eliminator. Just mean that basically they're gonna be the number. They getting closer to becoming his mandatory. Now, with that being said, I've talked about this before, y'all. Right? It looked like that PBC. They trying to put Keith Thurman in a position to win, to be able to get that Errol Spence fight, right? That I talked about this, and everybody was like, nope, ain't gonna happen, can't happen. And I said a long time ago, I said, man, could Keith Thurman come in, and if he have a spectacular performance against Barrios, could he be the fighter, right? That they match up with Errol Spence down the line for a big fight. Because
down the line, I don't think it looks like. I think that Keith Thurman, if he win and they put him at number 2, then that means you got to fight one of them young killers before you get your opportunity at Errol Spence.
Yeah, and see that's where the shit get great, because I think that PBC, they're trying to put Keith Thurman in a position to where they can have him and Errol Spence have a big mega fight. And you know what I'm saying? Because they can't really depend on Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, because Crawford, he ain't got nobody really backing him. We don't really know what's going to go on with Crawford, right? And then we just heard how they talked about Crawford. They acting like they don't even want to pay Crawford. They acting like they don't even want to make that Crawford fight, right? Now, if that's not, we want to see Terrence Crawford. But if that ain't possible, if that's not possible, if Errol Spence decide, okay, I'm making the weight a lot easier because I do got a nutritionist and things like that now, I'm going to stay at 147 for a little bit longer until maybe I'll stay for another year, right? I'll stay until 2023, and then I'll move up, right? he's still gonna have to have another mega fight at 147 if he gonna stay at the division. Could it be Keith Thurman? Because it looked like they trying to move Keith Thurman in that position. So, like I told y'all before, all Keith Thurman got to do is play his cards right. Now, a lot of people saying, well, Errol said he ain't fighting Keith Thurman. Well, the last time Errol was asked would he fight Keith Thurman, he kind of pushed back on it a little bit. He was like, well, I don't know. We'll see. He said, we'll see, right? Now, if Al Heyman in the PBC come to Errol Spence and they say, you know what, we can't get you to fight with Crawford, but we want you to, you know what I'm saying, before you move up, we want to get you this fight with Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? We think that'll be a big, big fight. We're going to pay both of y'all such and such amount. This is a mega fight in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, you and Keith Thurman. That's a big fight. But Keith Thurman got work to do. He can't just go out there and win 12 rounds against Barrios. He has to go out there and he has to knock out Mario Barrios. He got to knock out Mario Barrios, because if he don't knock out Mario Barrios, he can forget about that Errol Spence shit, because if he don't knock out Mario Barrios, right, you know what they're going to do? They're going to do exactly what Coach said. They're going to put him in, they're going to look at Keith Thurman like he threw. We're going to throw him in there with one of them young guns. So we might, you know.
But you got to understand this, Keon. What you got to understand is this. You got to force Ramirez or whoever's number one at that position, Ramirez or Boots, you got to give them step-aside money.
Ramirez. Who is you mean?
Ortiz.
Ortiz. You're gonna have to either give them step aside money, because if they're in that number one position and they're the mandatory, then Keith Thurman gonna either have to fight them or they gotta pay him money. They gotta pay them money to step aside to let that fight happen. So Keith Thurman ain't gonna just jump over these dudes and just the fucking mandatory for Errol Spence after a 3-year layoff and his last fight he lost.
Bruh, he can do it. He got the name and he got the star power to do it. He can do it just as long as he go out there and put on a spectacular performance. Right?
You gotta pay him. Gotta pay him.
It doesn't. All of that stuff, Coach. That don't matter. What matters to them, people that work in the fights behind the scenes. Who can we make the biggest fight with? It's already an in-house fight. So Ortiz and motherfucking Boots, they ain't with PBC.
They don't need to be. They don't need to be. Just like Errol Spence. Hold on. Just like Errol Spence wasn't with
but they have to become. They have to become Errol Spence's mandatory. Ain't neither one of them his mandatory.
Who the number one fighter? Who the number one fighter at the WBC? Who the number one? Ortiz is the number one. He is the
Ortiz is not. He don't want no. They don't want no parts of Errol Spence right now. Oscar De La Hoya does not want Virgil Ortiz to fight Errol Spence. If Errol Spence go out there and beat the shit out of Ugas, I guarantee you he look good and beat the shit out of Ugas. Oscar De La Hoya is not gonna put his potential cash cow in there with Errol Spence next.
My point is they're gonna have to pay Victor Ortiz to step aside.
That's fine.
Huh?
That's fine.
But I'm just saying they're gonna have to pay him. They ain't gonna be able to jump.
I'm trying to tell you, Coach, he is not gonna rush Victor Ortiz in there with Errol Spence. He's not.
I don't know if that's a fact or not, but I know one thing. Either way it go, they're gonna have to pay Victor Ortiz to step aside. I know that.
So Keith Thurman, right? If Keith Thurman have a spectacular performance in the WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, PBC sees that as a big fight. That's a big money fight. All that other shit, it don't matter. When it comes to big money fights, they get shit. They make shit happen, bro. They make shit happen when it comes to big money fights, right? That Keith Thurman, if he have a great performance versus Barrios, but he need to have a great performance, because if he don't, they just go throw him in there with one of them young live hungry dudes. You know what I'm saying? One of them dogs. But if he have a great performance and they see that they can make a mega fight and rekindle a flame between Errol Spence and motherfucking Keith Thurman, that fight is big, bro. You know what I'm saying? That shit, that's big. And that's what it looks like that PBC is more moving towards. They're more moving towards Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman, if they can get them two in the ring, rather than moving towards Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. And I told people a long time ago, I said Errol Spence, he don't need Terrence Crawford because he has other names that he can make huge mega fights with. And Keith Thurman is one of them. But Keith Thurman got to play his cards right. He got to handle his business. And then if he handle his business, mark my words. If Keith Thurman go in there and handle his business, mark my words, Keith Thurman is going to be the name that's talked about with Errol Spence next. Of course, like I said, we all want to see Terrence Crawford, but if we can't get Terrence Crawford, the next best thing is Keith Thurman.
Hey, the next best thing to me is Boots Ennis, but we ain't gonna get that. So, but I gotta go, brothers. It was a pleasure, King. As always, my brother. Y'all take it easy, bro.
All right, Coach.
Batman, what you think about that?
Man, you know how they doing? They doing it like everybody else doing it. Man, if Crawford don't bend, they gonna throw Keith Thurman in the mix. You know, they ain't even got to put him in the which comment. They ain't even got to make him the mandatory. They gonna make the fight.
They make it. You know what I'm saying? And it looked like to me that's the route that PBC is gonna go.
They're gonna build Keith Thurman back up. They're gonna build Keith Thurman back up. And which time? But if I was at the helm of that table, I'd just make sense. Crawford want to fight Keith anyway. I'll give Crawford the A-side money against him and Keith Thurman. Let him fight Keith Thurman. Hope Keith Thurman go get the belt. If he don't go get the belt, just go ahead and make the fight with Crawford.
But see, the thing, the bottom line to all of this, right, is they don't want to pay Terrence Crawford, whether it's Keith Thurman or Errol Spence. It don't matter to them whether it's Keith Thurman or Errol Spence. They don't want to pay Terrence Crawford, right? And Terrence Crawford has made them, right? He kind of made them hold that position.
He kind of did, but at the end of the day,
the way that he was talking bad about him,
it's about making money. At the end of the day, y'all gonna make a whole shitload of money. Because at the end of the day, when I went back and looked at a lot of these guys' pay-per-view numbers, Oscar De La Hoya ain't one no pay-per-view star off the break. They had every time they put him with a name, that's when his pay-per-views went up. If you go check Oscar De La Hoya pay-per-view numbers, his first big pay-per-view was with numbers that was high was with Pernell Whitaker, and that was 700,000. His first million pay-per-view buys was with Trinidad with 400. His biggest one was with Mayweather, 2 million pay-per-view buys. Dog, when you put these guys in the ring with great competition, the pay-per-view numbers is going to go up. So
right. But see, this is the thing, right? This is the thing, and this is the thing, J.A. Dixon, right? You got to Keith Thurman, right? You got to Keith Thurman. He can sell better than Terrence Crawford. That's a fact.
But
I don't care what we want to see.
No more,
he can sit when he was in the spotlight. He sold out more arenas and he sold better than Terrence Crawford. This is just a fact. Yeah, we can go back to the numbers. Right?
He only got one fight, and that was against a good opponent.
Hold on. When Keith Thurman and Sean Porter was fighting, they was doing big numbers. It was on regular pay-per-view, but they were doing huge numbers. They were selling out arenas, right? When Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia fought, they were selling out arenas. They was doing huge viewership numbers. So don't say he only got one fight. You know what I'm saying? When Keith Thurman was in the limelight, right? When he was in the limelight, he was doing numbers.
All right, Terrence Crawford.
Hold on. Let me finish, right? He was doing numbers. So PBC, they looking at what Keith Thurman was doing. What Keith Thurman did when he did pay-per-view with Manny Pacquiao, right? He did bigger numbers. Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao did bigger numbers than Manny Pacquiao and AB did. Right? So they're looking at all of that. And they saying, okay, if we can get Keith Thurman back to that level, we got a mega fight right here in his in-house. We don't have to go outside. We don't have to pay somebody that's refusing to do business with us, right? We don't have to pay somebody that don't want to do business with us. We got a mega fight right here that's in-house. Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman. It's a long backstory to that. And the buildup of the fight will be amazing. That buildup will be amazing. They have a fight right there. And that's how they looking at it business-wise. They got a fight right there, in-house. Both of them are our fighters.
That's true. But on the other hand, the people have spoken. This fight will be our first. This fight might be Errol Spence's first million pay-per-view buys fight.
But you didn't hear, but you haven't, but you gotta take in context what they're saying. You gotta take in account what the PBC are telling you. They're telling you that they don't think that Terrence Crawford can sell to generate the money that he asking for. That's what they're telling you.
They already sold the fight. Bob Arum and them already sold the fight. I mean, you know, they can do whatever they want to do because they mad and because he keep on talking shit or his people keep talking shit. But people already sold the fight. Dog, when I go outside in different neighborhoods, man, you think Earl can beat Terrence and Terrence gonna beat him? And dog, this shit is already sold. Don't nobody talk about Keith Thurman and Errol Spence.
Bro, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Y'all talking about we acting like that fans don't steal fights and all. That's not the point, right? The point is that the same fans that's gonna steal Keith Thurman and Errol Spence is the same fans that's gonna steal motherfucking Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford if they fight.
Yeah,
what is you saying? So
but there's a lot of
same thing. If you're gonna steal Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, you're gonna do the same if Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight. If you're gonna steal it,
but there's a lot of people that's gonna buy this fight. I know.
Bro, it's a lot of people that's gonna buy Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman. Also, once they start building that fight up, it's a lot of people that's gonna buy that fight. Also,
that's cool. But this fight already sold. This fight already sold. This fight been sold.
I'm telling you right now. If anybody that's willing, the same people are gonna buy Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence is gonna be the same people that buy Keith Thurman and Errol Spence.
I don't really think so because Keith Thurman.
You see how much
when I go around, I don't hear Keith Thurman name mentioned in no conversation.
Now you don't because he's been out of the sport. That's their job to build him back up to where he at. If that's why they putting him on, that's why they putting him on TV, right? On pay-per-view. That's why he doing interviews.
Man, the only people gonna buy
we acting like that.
Only people gonna buy that pay-per-view. The only reason they selling that as a pay-per-view because they think Leo Santa Cruz and fucking Mario Barrios gonna sell that motherfucker.
Bro, if you're willing to pay, if you're gonna pay for Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, the same people gonna pay for Errol Spence and Keith Thurman.
Man, Keith Thurman.
It is what it is. Terrence Crawford don't have no bigger name than Keith Thurman. When Keith Thurman is active in the sport, Terrence Crawford's name is not bigger than Keith Thurman's.
All right, for me to pay for Keith Thurman and Errol Spence fight, they got to get Keith 2 fights, and the second fight got to be somebody that I can deem to say, damn, yeah, or it how Spence do against Ugas. You make Thurman fight Ugas next, and if he do it, I will buy that motherfucker. But other than that,
so you telling me that if Keith Thurman go out there and knock out Mario Barrios, right, and then hold on, and then they set up a big mega fight with Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence, you telling me that you gonna steal it, you ain't gonna pay for it?
Yes, I'm telling you that right now.
Well, you're not an Errol Spence fan.
I'm not a fan.
No, because you sat here, Batman, and you talked about how much you support Errol Spence and you'll buy it. But how you support Errol Spence if you're not willing to pay to see him and Keith Thurman? That don't even make sense. I don't want to see
Errol Spence fight no fucking Keith
That don't make sense. You just
knock out Mario Barrios that a Tank Davis just stopped. I don't want to see that shit.
So you telling me that if Errol Spence fights Keith Thurman, you still in it?
Listen what I just said.
I'm listening to what you're saying.
If they give Keith Thurman 2 fights and they get him a real credible opponent, the second fight, I will bow to Keith Thurman and Errol Spence fight. But if I don't see Keith Thurman fighting nobody that's credible, that I say, damn, Keith beat him like that, I don't want to see that shit.
Bro, you what you saying? It doesn't even make sense, bro. You talking about the only way I'll pay to see Keith Thurman and Errol Spence if Keith Thurman has 2 fights in between and he look good, and then I'll pay. Come on, man. That shit
if
don't
he look good against somebody that's credible, that's in the top 5, that's in the top 5 of the fucking welterweight division. Yes, I will buy.
Well, Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, that's a fucking solid fight. That's a pay-per-view fight. And if you ain't willing to pay for that, I don't think you really paying for too much. I think you streaming everything, Batman. I don't think you paying for shit. I don't think that you will pay to see Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford if it's free. If you can get it free,
I bought Errol Spence, Sean Porter. I bought who else? I bought Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia.
Errol Spence. Hold on. So you mean Errol? You trying to tell me that you shitting on Keith Thurman and Errol Spence? That's not a good enough fight. But then you telling me that you bought Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia?
Yes, I bought that because it was.
You make no sense.
It was an undefeated. How the fuck I don't make no
everybody sense? That with common sense knows that Keith Thurman, right? Everybody with common sense knows that that Mikey Garcia is not a more competitive fight than Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. It's not. Now, like I said, Keith Thurman is not. He hasn't been relevant. So y'all got to go back to what I'm saying. If Keith Thurman goes out and he looks spectacular, now he just can't go out there and get a win against Mario Barrios, and then you're gonna try to sell me him in Errol Spence. No, he got to go out there, look spectacular, right? Do what he does in the ring. He needs to look spectacular. He needs to get the knockout. He needs to absolutely knock out Barrios, right? And then they can build on selling that fight.
No, all right, now let me
make a fight to me.
All right, now let me rebuttal that. Wow, you think you talking about what the fuck you just say? You telling me that a Keith Thurman goes out and fight a Mario Barrios that I want to see him fight Errol Spence next? That a Mario Barrios that just got stopped by a 5'5" fighter with a body shot. Do I want to see that?
I'm telling you that once they build that shit and he go out there and do something spectacular and knock out
Mario Barrios
and they build it to the audience, I'm telling you that if the same people that was willing to buy Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is gonna pay to see Errol Spence.
I'd rather see them put Keith Thurman and fucking Terrence Crawford, and he go get the belt from Terrence Crawford, and then go see Errol Spence and make a mega fight.
So he's worthy of fighting Terrence Crawford, but he ain't worthy of fighting Errol Spence. If we get to that point, so if we get to that point, well, I said he do what he got to do against Barrios.
I say Terrence Crawford doing some lifting. The fuck,
how is he more worthy to fight Terrence Crawford but not Errol Spence if they get to that point? As far as a pay-per-view worthy fight, and what
y'all been letting Terrence Crawford get away with shit with fighting subpar fighters. Well, I mean, let Keith go fight him. The fuck?
Dirty Red says nobody want to see Keith versus EJ. It's too late. That's the EJ and Bud name are forever attached to each other. Anything else is a major letdown. Yeah, bro, I'm not screaming that I want to see Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence. What I'm saying is that if they build on that fight at PBC, right, and Keith Thurman handle his business, Bro, we don't want to see. We don't want to see that if we can't get Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. That's the fight I'll pay for. If we
I'd
can't,
rather them do it like they used to do it, like put them against if Ugas and fucking Earl have a good fight and Ugas lose, I'd rather Ugas fight Keith to see how that fight go and then go fight Earl. I just don't want Keith Thurman beat a Mario Barrios that I know he's gonna beat and go fight Earl Spence. No.
But like I said, man, that's I wouldn't be surprised if that's the fight that they try to build up. You know what I'm saying? It's all about it's all about how they build up the fight to the fans. It's all about how they build it up, bro.
Yeah,
it's the key, the art of selling the fight. And
that's why they ain't been successful.
Bennett 360 says y'all just proved Tim Smith PBC point. He said y'all just proved what Tim Smith was saying about the
How? Because I just bought Terrence Bud Crawford and fucking Witchcom. How I prove his point? I ain't screamed Bud Crawford fight. Him and Sean Porter.
Mike Biggs boxing salute. Yeah, man, but like I said, man, if
the homies was in the spot. We paid for that.
I just think the majority, the 9 times out of 10 boxing fans, if they was gonna really pay, dig in their pocket and pay to see Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, they'll pay to see Errol Spence versus Thurman. I mean, they will. But if they was gonna steal it, they was gonna steal it regardless. If it was Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, they was gonna steal that. If it was Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence, they was gonna steal that. If it's Keith Thurman versus Terrence Crawford, they gonna steal that. They gonna steal it. They gonna steal it. Most people, if they gonna buy it, they gonna buy it. If it's those fighters, because those fighters overall hold the same fan base.
If they crying about that shit, put it on regular TV then. Make the motherfucking ratings go out the roof.
Nah, the Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence is not a regular TV fight.
Man, put it on TV, make the ratings go out the roof then.
And not a regular TV fight.
They keep on crying about people stealing fights. Put it on free TV then, man.
And I think if you saying nope, I'm not paying to see. I'm not gonna support Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. I ain't paying that. I'm gonna stream that. I think you say the same shit versus.
No, I said if they don't
Crawford
put Keith Thurman, if they don't put Keith Thurman in the test, whereas though I could say, damn, Keith back. How I'm gonna say that against Mario Barrios?
Zenith 360 in that super chat, he says Thurman versus Barrios winner will likely fight a Ramos and Lopez winner first for a final eliminator. He says both top 10 in WBC. He says think they'll try to make Bud fight but not giving him 50-50. He said he think they'll try to make Bud fight but not giving 50-50 when they got options. Man, I want to see them fight. I want to see the Bud fight. But like I said, if we don't get the Bud fight, I like Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence. I like that fight. And then my man Blue say Keith Thurman is absolutely not credible. He ain't fought nobody and looked very vulnerable in his last 2 fights. He needs to earn it. I feel you. I'm not saying that he's earned his position, right? This is what y'all gotta understand. I am not saying that Keith Thurman has done anything to earn his position in a big mega fight like that. But I'm saying that Keith Thurman has a big enough name, right? Yes, he go out there and look spectacular. He has a big enough name to where people are going to start talking about Keith Thurman again, right? Yes, and he can sell fights. He can sell himself, right? He can sell himself to the boxing audience. And with that being said, I'm saying that it wouldn't surprise me if that is, they try to turn that into a big mega pay-per-view. Yeah, it's a storyline behind that.
And they will. But this is what I'm telling you. I'm a true boxing fan. If they don't make Keith prove that he's back, I'm not gonna buy it.
Bro, but you ain't everybody. The boxing fans
I know
don't care
I'm not
about
everybody,
that
but
shit.
you asking my opinion about it.
Yeah, but I'm saying overall boxing fans. Okay.
I'm not everybody, but you made it personal.
Okay, let's get to this. Let's get to this. Basically, what I'm saying is that Keith Thurman and Errol Spence will do big numbers on pay-per-view. I think that's a fight that'll sell. That's bottom line what I'm getting down to.
Yeah, they probably do good numbers.
So the bottom line, what I'm getting to, if Keith Thurman goes out and he do some spectacular shit and gets a spectacular knockout versus Barrios, right? He get to talking that loud shit, and I think that fight is a fight that they have a storyline they can promote, and that's a fight that's going to sell big numbers. That's what I'm not talking about do Keith Thurman deserve it and what he needs to prove before. We ain't talking about all that. I'm just saying that fight will sell.
But
that's all I'm saying.
You personalized it, so I gave you for my personal feelings. When you said I wasn't a true Earl Spence fan. I mean,
Son of Peter says, "Come on, I ain't buying no Keith Thurman versus anybody, but I'll pay $200 for that Bud fight." Well, you might pay $200 for a Bud fight because you probably a huge Bud Crawford fan. You probably don't really fuck with Errol Spence like that. You fuck with Bud. So we do have some fans that fuck with Bud Crawford, and they not a fan of Errol Spence or Keith Thurman, right?
And then you got a lot of people that's a fan of boxing.
Right. But if you're a fan of boxing, the majority of people, right, will pay to see. If you're a fan of boxing, the majority
put this in the chat. Put this in the chat.
Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence.
Put a 1 in the chat. If you will pay after Keith Thurman beat Mario Barrios, that you will pay to see him fight Earl Spence.
Because a lot of people paid to see Keith Thurman versus Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia versus Errol Spence. Errol Spence got people that's gonna support him regardless. He got people that's gonna support him regardless. So you trying to say that Keith Thurman don't have no fan base that's gonna pay to see Keith Thurman in Errol Spence? That's a big fight, bro. They got history. A lot of people been wanting to see Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence for years.
I did too at one time, but Keith.
I understand what you're saying.
But Keith watered it down.
Almighty said he put a 1 in the chat.
Everybody
put a 1.
Everybody put a 1 in the chat.
Bumpy Thompson put a 1. I don't know what Joe Jack talking about. King Israel put a 1. Boxing Social Network says facts. I think if you're a boxing fan, you want to see that fight. It's a history behind it. Now, does Keith Thurman deserve to get in that spot? Jay Cooley put a 1. You know what I'm saying? Does he deserve to get? That ain't my, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm not on PBC. I don't match make. I don't determine who they put in what spot. But I know I'll pay to see that fight if Keith Thurman now if did Keith Thurman go out there and struggle with Barrios and win a 12-round decision, now then I hear what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But if Keith Thurman go out there and knock out Barrios, look spectacular doing it, and he got a mouthpiece, it's gonna intrigue us to say, damn, is Keith Thurman really back? Was he really? You know what I'm saying? What was, because we know that he was hurt in the Manny Pacquiao fight, and he was hurt in the fight before Manny Pacquiao, right? We know he was hurt. He had surgery. He talked about it extensively. We seen, the injury that he had. So are we saying now that because it's going to get people thinking like, damn, is Keith Thurman finally back now that we get to see Keith Thurman and he's not injured no more? It's, you know what I'm saying? It's going to make everybody curious to see what happens. Now, I got Errol Spence stopping him with a body shot. And I had Errol Spence stopping him with a body shot when Keith Thurman was Keith Thurman. But I still would like to see the fight if, you know what I'm saying?
No, I feel.
Because I mean, if we ain't gonna get Bud, we could cry about we want to see Bud Crawford and Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence all day. But if we ain't gonna get Bud, what's the next big thing?
I'd rather see him take on one of the young dogs.
Well, Boots is cool. I would like to see Boots too, but let's just keep it 100, bro. Let's keep it 100. The PBC ain't fucking stepping over Keith Thurman to have Errol Spence fight Boots.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm just
You know
saying, which one who you rather see? I'd rather see him fight Boots.
And like Blue Blood said, he said he agreed that Thurman can sell a fight for sure. Yeah, and it gets you, it makes you, it gets that suspense up, right? Gets that intrigue. We let's stop acting like we didn't want to see Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence real bad. And the only thing that really held us from seeing Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence probably is because Keith Thurman was hurt. He's been hurt. He's been out of the sport.
I agree with that. He was hurt.
The only thing that really kept us from potentially already have seeing that is because Keith Thurman can't stay healthy, right? And now you got Errol Spence. He ain't been healthy. Ain't neither one of them been healthy.
Yeah, he ain't been healthy, but he ain't do what Keith Thurman did.
So I mean, at the end of the day, bro, they have it. That's a storyline. That's a big storyline. You don't think they can flame that storyline back up?
I mean,
you don't think that Keith Thurman can sell a fight?
They, you know what I'm saying? They got the TV, so they can do that.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that it is, you know, if we can't get Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, I think that's a big fight, bro. I think that's a fight that sells on the PBC side. Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, I think that it do big numbers. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they can both go out and put up big performances.
I think him and Virgil. I mean, I think Errol Spence and Virgil do the bigger numbers though.
You think Errol Spence and Virgil Ortiz would do bigger numbers than Keith Thurman and Errol Spence? I don't think so.
Yeah, because I
don't think so. And Virgil Ortiz, he don't have the fan base that Keith Thurman accumulated when Keith Thurman was an active fighter. You know what I'm saying? People, bro, of course, people ain't riding with Keith Thurman now, but he get back, he's back active. You gonna have, and he look good. You gonna have them same old Keith Thurman fans. They gonna get back on the Keith Thurman bandwagon.
Them niggas hate Keith Thurman right now.
I don't think that Virgil Ortiz can sell more than Keith Thurman. It's just not. Virgil Ortiz is not selling more than Keith Thurman.
I mean, in Texas, they gonna sell Texas out because both of them from Dallas.
That's cool, but we talking about pay-per-view numbers, right? We talk Keith Thurman and Errol Spence can sell Texas out.
If you can give but listen, if you can get since Ortiz went with Eddie Reynoso, if you can get Canelo to prance around with Virgil for a couple of fight or two, I think it'll be that'll make it bigger.
Keith Thurman and Errol Spence would sell Texas out. Period. They gonna say if they put on Keith Thurman and Errol Spence in Texas, they'll sell that out. Plus, Keith Thurman and Errol Spence will do much bigger pay-per-view numbers than Virgil Ortiz and Errol Spence. Virgil Ortiz don't have that name like that yet. First of all, Virgil Ortiz is promoted under Oscar De La Hoya, and he's fighting on the app. He's not selling more pay-per-views than Keith Thurman.
But he's not going to fight on the app if you fight Errol Spence.
It doesn't matter. He ain't selling more pay-per-views on his own than Keith Thurman. If you put on his Virgil, hold on. If you put Virgil Ortiz on pay-per-view on his own, just put him in there with any opponent, whatever. He's not. And you put Keith Thurman on his own. Keith Thurman's finna sell more pay-per-views than Virgil Ortiz.
That's probably true. But if you put somebody with a great opponent and because it's a black and it's a Mexican, and the Mexicans really think Virgil is what he is. Because every time I see somebody talk about Virgil, the Mexican on it, how the fuck they say it? How the fuck the Mexicans be saying it, man? Oh, he's the motherfucker, and yeah, man, they gonna back that boy, man. They gonna make sure that boy sell, and then all the black people gonna get behind Earl. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's what I think why it's going to sell more.
Hold on. Okay, so it as far as people who know, okay, because a lot of people like to go by, Instagram. Keith Thurman got 319,000 followers, and Virgil Ortiz just got over 100,000. So I mean,
Yeah.
more people know who Keith Thurman. Virgil Ortiz got 178, 170. More people know who Keith Thurman is than Virgil Ortiz. Now, if we have this conversation a year from now, you're probably right. Because see, I think you looking at it more so of what it does in Texas. If Errol Spence fight in Texas, if he fight Virgil Ortiz or Keith Thurman, he's selling out regardless of which one of those fighters it is in Texas. And I get what you're saying that Virgil Ortiz is from Texas too, but I think that he's selling out with both of them. You know what I'm saying? Either one of them. But on pay-per-view, we talking about pay-per-view numbers. Who does bigger numbers, Virgil Ortiz and Errol Spence, or Keith Thurman and Errol Spence? I don't think even it's a contest. I think that Keith Thurman doing bigger numbers than Virgil Ortiz if he fights Errol Spence on pay-per-view. That's just my opinion. And you have Keith Thurman, you have something to back it up with, right? Because he fought Pacquiao. And now people want to say, oh, well, that was because of Manny Pacquiao.
No,
Manny Pacquiao fought he fought Adrian Broner. He didn't do as big as numbers he did with Keith Thurman. And also Manny Pacquiao fought Manny Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying? He came back recently and he fought Ugas, and he didn't do near the numbers that he did with Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? And so you can't put it all on Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao didn't do shit to sell that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Keith Thurman do nothing to sell no fight.
Keith Thurman was the one that was really, you know what I'm saying, selling that fight, talking that shit, selling that fight.
If I can go back to my memory, when I did look at Manny Pacquiao numbers, he ain't do too many million pay-per-view buys.
Who?
I'm talking about when Bob Arum put him on pay-per-view.
And on top of that, right? And on top of that, like I said, people gonna say, oh, it was Manny Pacquiao. Well, then the same motherfuckers tried to say, oh, Errol Spence, it was Mikey Garcia. But then you look at Mikey Garcia other fights and he ain't selling like that. So you gotta give credit where credit is due.
But like you said, I mean, when if they gonna say that, when Errol Spence had another pay-per-view, it was the similar numbers. So you can't say that. You can say the attendance.
Zenith 360 says Spence versus Thurman is Texas versus Florida rivalry. Right. Man, it's so much different storylines behind that Spence versus Thurman. And repeat what you had just said, Batman.
Huh?
Repeat what you just said.
I said, what the fuck I just say anyway? No, you try to cut me off, but the fuck I was saying? I said, what the fuck I say? I think I was talking about the attendance. I was like, I was saying that with Mikey and Spence, you can't really say that because when he went back and had the joint with Sean Porter, he did the same numbers. The only thing you can say was the attendance. Between him and Mikey brought that attendance.
You can't even say the attendance because, right? You can't even say the attendance because you had it in two different arenas. He sold out. He did 50,000 in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, and then he went to California, right? Whole nother side of the map, California, Staples Center, and he sold out Staples Center. So they can't even use that.
So how much he sell out in Staples Center?
You can't fit the same amount of people in Staples Center and you know what I'm saying, in Dallas Cowboy Stadium. So that's trying to compare apples to oranges. You can't fit the same amount of people. He sold it out. You can't do more than, you know what I'm saying, what can fit in the stadium.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm like I said, the only thing they can really say is the attendance. But the numbers on the pay-per-view, they can't really talk about that because he was only like 25 to 30
like 25,000. It was a difference between like 25,000. So
Yeah,
if you really do that, how many pay-per-views did Mikey sell? You feel me? That
that's
shit
what
just
I'm
don't add up. Yeah. But
I mean,
like I said,
when I did look at it, Spence first 3 pay-per-views was better than Oscar's first 3 pay-per-views. I mean, by a couple of thousand, that's all.
yeah, he doing numbers, man, and I think that is a potential big fight, bro, with Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. It just all depends, if Keith Thurman can perform well. Cali Fire, I was there too, but if it just depends if Keith Thurman can perform well, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see, you know what I'm saying? But Keith Thurman, it's a big if, because can he even go out there and knock out Mario Barrios and look spectacular?
I mean,
he got to do that first.
It depends on, man, what Keith Thurman we get. If we get this so-called hungry Keith Thurman, and he don't go to that boxing shit, and he box, weigh him down and just start pressing for the knockout. Yeah, but man, I don't know what mindset you gonna get from Keith Thurman. I just don't know.
Yeah. So man, let me get your last words before I get ready to wrap it up now. And y'all hit the like button. If y'all ain't hit my like button, smash the like button. Smash on the like button.
It don't cost you nothing.
It don't cost you nothing. Smash the like button, y'all. I appreciate everybody too. Let me get your last words, Batman.
Man, I just hope, man, like I always say, I just hope they give us what we want, for we can stop being on this motherfucker talking about this person can be that person. I hope everybody people like my brother need to hurry up and put himself in position to fucking move up, so he can stop talking about he want to fight this person and fight that person. And Floyd Mayweather and them stop. Man, take the pacifier out Tank mouth and let him spread his wings. Keep what's my man? Bud, stop getting in people personal. Tell your man, stop being in people personal business, and just fucking go over there and holler at Al and fucking sign on the dotted line. Get that 40%, sign on the dotted line. And that's all I want to say, Keith, man. It was a great show, man. Shared the panel with good men.
Yes, sir. Man, great show. Another great show. Another great show. I appreciate everybody for coming through, showing love, in the comments and everything. We'll be back tomorrow. And we don't forget, y'all, because we're going to cook on this tomorrow. We're going to cook on Gary Russell. And what is Gary Russell's next move, right? And how does the Mark Messiah match up? How we're going to break that down too. I appreciate everybody. Like I said, y'all already know what it is. They ain't go talking that boxing again. And we out.